Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna do a very fun pick a card. We're gonna be looking at you, yes you, and what you're like privately versus what you exude publicly. I've got 4 beautiful images in front of you. You're gonna go with the one that you feel the most gravitated towards, but yes, if you do feel gravitated to more than one image, you can totally pick more than one image and watch more than one pile. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to choose. Feel free to also pause the video, but that timer, that countdown will start now. Okay, so if you were attracted to image 1, before we get into your reading, a couple things to note. Please go and check the comment section. There is a pinned comment from me, which is going to be providing you with many links to my Etsy shop should you want to book a personal, a link to my Patreon platform, if you want to see more from me, as well as if you want to check out my second channel. All the links are nicely there, as well as, guys, I am getting a lot of comments about, timestamps. Timestamps are going to be in the description box. They were always there before chapters came along, so make sure you are going to the description box if you can't find them. And also make sure you're subscribing. If you like the way I read, if you like my style of content, I don't want you missing out on a reading from me or when I go live. So make sure all notifications are on, and that goes for pre-existing subscribers as well. So let's get into this. So I purposely didn't put the writing. I did not include the writing at the bottom of the card. These images are from my cards. Because I didn't want it to sway you. Okay, I really wanted you to zone in on the image. But this is going to be what you exude publicly. Now, if this doesn't make sense, just bear with me. I am drawing a lot of cards today. But the card is representative of somebody who is easily bothered. Now, that doesn't mean that you are a walking rampage or a woman or a man who's walking around with rage. It just means that you exude, a no BS type person, somebody who's not going to really, sugarcoat or sway. You tend to exude that. And listen, it could be without any words being expressed. I actually, to be very honest, exude this. Just with facial features, my facial movements, the way I speak when I'm speaking about something else, you can tell I'm just a no nonsense type person. And to be very honest, I have zero patience for, somebody lacking common sense. So I'm not necessarily that type of person who's going to be nice just to be nice. If you are lacking common sense or you do say something that is dumb, I'm going to, not necessarily school you, but I'm just going to give you, that kind of like maybe subtle indication, like, are you thinking, are you using your brain? That type of thing. But this is going to be, again, what represents you publicly. You tend to kind of give off this energy of somebody who, again, is not to be kind of, messed with, come correct to. You could be, exuding an opinionated type of energy, somebody who is, feels very strong, but even also with this image, you could be very like animated, very lively, when you are laughing, you're laughing. When you are angry, you're angry. Or when you're happy, you're happy. There's nothing really subtle about you, okay? That's what I feel like this card also indicates. But I would say with this one as well, there's a healthy respect of fear. So when people are, coming into contact with you, they know they have to somewhat shape up, okay? You're not like a wilting willow or somebody who's going to take a hit. It doesn't feel like that for people when they're meeting you, okay? Now I'm going to draw more cards, okay? So again, get cozy. It's going to be a long reading. Let's draw 2 more to see what else you're exuding, how other ways that you're exuding yourself. And listen, a lot of people are not even aware sometimes of how they, are coming across. So it could be for some of you that this makes sense, but others it could be a bit shocking, I did go through that, to be honest, in my earlier days. I used to say I was the nicest person, but people used to be like straight up scared of me. But yeah, like it's a thing, sometimes we can be clouded. We can. So let's get more on what you're exuding publicly. So we've got the karma is a bitch. Yeah, like this is a no nonsense person. I feel like people get a very quick indication that, should they cross you, you're not going to let it go easily. And again, guys, it doesn't have to be that you are going around and telling people how you are, but it's just that subtleness, like, you're going to make things right, like you're not going to tolerate it. You're not going to, again, just be this wilting willow or somebody who just, puts their tail between their legs and just, says, oh, I'm going to be the bigger person. Now, I just think with this card as well, too, this could be a very good thing. You could literally exude this to the extent that people are very careful on how they, conduct themselves with you. So with this crowd, pile one, I don't think people tend to be, very careless around you. I think they kind of, again, have that healthy respect of fear, and it kind of indicates how they're going to act towards you. So this could actually be very protective. This could be very protective. And listen, like this reading will go deep, because maybe for some of you, you were that wilting flower. You used to be, but now you're like, no, I got to carry myself in a different way, because this is getting ridiculous now, and I just don't want to deal with it. So this could be protection as well too. But I feel like if people are around you, or if they even sense you, somehow they're getting the sign or the clue that, if they do something wrong, or if they, again, attack you in a particular way, there will be retaliation, and it doesn't have to be that you're aggressive or that you're physical, but you will, take it upon yourself to make things right. You're not a wilting willow. Okay. More. How else is group one exuding themselves? How are they coming across publicly to others? Okay, so we've got the card of childish behavior. Don't click off. Don't click off. Some of you might be like, what? Listen, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It could be that you have some ways about you. Maybe there's something about the way that you dress. Maybe some of you are watching and have been told that you don't dress your age, okay? Maybe if you are 50 and watching, you just look very modern. The childish behavior doesn't have to be a bad thing or talk about the fact that you're immature. It could just be that you're very youthful. You keep yourself young. Public image is also about, looking at you. And maybe you dress or tend to dress a lot younger, or you keep yourself, up to date and modern. The other thing that I'm getting from this as well, too, is that you could have a silly side to you. I am hearing like somebody who gets these fits of giggles. I don't know if that means, is that when we're like, laughing uncontrollably, or you tend to kind of have a fun way about you? It's actually extremely hilarious. I'm hearing it's extremely hilarious. It's like, we love to see this side of you. I think those of you, those who know you, really enjoy this side. You could be extremely funny. Oh my goodness, I'm getting a lot of that. Like extreme, like uncontrollable laughter. Like you could make people really just, I don't know. And I feel like you do a good job of getting people to engage in this with you. Like you're fun. Some of you though, I am seeing maybe even prints. I don't know if there's like a cartoon aspect of you. What is this? Maybe some of you are wearing like particular prints that would be like cartoonish, like Hello Kitty or something. I don't know what that is. That could be for one person. But this childish behavior, I'm taking in a very positive way. I don't feel like it's immaturity. I feel like it's that fun side of you. And there's also like this spontaneity. Like people would think that you would be like a daredevil, or you have this image like that you could be like a fun person, someone to go do something. Okay, there's something else coming through as well too. And I know sometimes this can be a hard thing to get labeled with, because I got this for many years when I was like it was furthest from the truth. Some of you can tend to look like a party girl or a party person, or like you have a lot of friends, or you would have a lot of friends, or you would be out and about. It could be very different. You could be completely different, but that's what people are seeing and picking up energetically, publicly. You're just probably always got something to do, or you're out and about, or again, maybe a little wild, or a party girl, which I hate that. I got that for many years. So if you hate that, I'm with you. But that's something else I'm seeing here as well. Okay. So we're going to stay on the public, and then we're going to move, halfway after to the private you. So now we are going to pull one card from this deck on how you exude yourself publicly, how you are exuding yourself public, or how people perceive you publicly. I just got this kind of interesting, I got the eye roll. Do you do a mean eye roll? Because I felt like with the easily bothered, they showed me like the reason why some people think that you could be like that is because you do an eye roll. Or maybe sometimes it's just like not even something bad happening or something that's annoying you. You just tend to do the eye roll a lot. Or people catch that eye roll, and through that, they kind of pick up that you could be a person like of a no nonsense. Okay, I just saw that. So interesting. We got the 3 of Cups for you publicly. That really does line up with, I feel like, the childish behavior card of what I've, interpreted. You're fun. You come across as fun, just very joyful. You could be publicly also too always around a bunch of people. This is a group setting card. So there could be something like that. But you tend to kind of give off this fun vibe. Fun. Like somebody who would probably know a lot of people, or maybe be like this like busy energy. But like, even someone you would want to take to a party. Like, I feel like if I'm viewing you publicly out of like a row of people, I just somehow get this intuition that like you would be the person I would want to go to a party with. You're fun. You're vivacious. You may even look like it as well too, but all the things I mentioned already, you could look like it as well. Interesting. This is a celebration card as well too. So I wonder here if you have this look like you're always publicly being, celebrating something. That could be for one person. Maybe publicly you're just always talking about, some celebration you've got to go to, or something that you're personally celebrating. Maybe you're like very into self and celebrating yourself. And you're like, yeah, I did this great. I'm going to go treat myself to this. Like I'm getting that YOLO energy as well too. You exude that. Like the YOLO, like you only live once, like why not? Why can't we? Just very uppity, very like vivacious and lively. So this is actually a great image to have because it would attract a lot of people towards you, regardless of what I picked up here. Okay, I feel like people tend to, if they really want to get to know you or be around you, they tend to kind of like not worry about this too much. Like again, it depends on how they behave. I don't think you're like an outwardly malicious person or really trying to be revengeful or easily bothered. It's just dependent on how the other person behaves. That's what dictates those two energies coming out of you. Interesting. Okay, so let's move to the tea leaf cards now. Let's get 3. Let's get 3 cards from here on what you exude or how people perceive you publicly. Oh, goodness. Just getting a good shuffle. Okay, how does group 1, how are they perceived publicly? Lion. Wow. So time to act. So this makes me feel like it's really, tied in with this card here. The karma is a bitch. Like you're just not being viewed as a wilting willow. Like you're being viewed as a lion. Like, when the time comes, you got probably even like a mouth on you a bit. I feel like here, you know how to say the right things at the right time. You know when to act. And I think here, this is also coming and to being tied in with when people are acting a certain way. You act. You act. You don't just, people view that. They see that. You don't just, shut your mouth. You say something. You're very gregarious, sorry, very, you say what you mean and you mean what you say, but you also are not going to be this person who just, is quiet. Okay. You also feel like you are responsible for yourself. And also, I do feel like here people equate this also to this beautiful way about you, like of self-protection, I feel like this is also very indicative with the lion too, because they are a packed animal. I feel like here this could even be like people are very aware of like what you protect, whether it be your friends, whether it be your family, like you stick up for others as well. Do they view this? This is what I said to you. Like, it doesn't have to be that you're a walking, talking, person on a rampage. It could just be subtly through things you do. And I feel like you are a person here who would definitely take up for another if something was not being done properly or was wrong. I feel like you would act on it. You do act. And again, it could be subtly. It doesn't have to be that it's a full-on brawl, okay? Let's say someone is rude to you in customer service. You may give them a look or say something to them. But you know when to act. People are getting that about you, like your public image. Like you even look, even if they don't even know you, like somebody who would say something. Wow. Okay, more. Wow, casket. Someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. Okay, so this casket is very symbolically for me. I am seeing the scissors and I am seeing, the cutting off of. You're dead to me. I keep hearing. People also, again, like this is unbelievable that this is all coming through and resonating. Like it's just all matching up like deck to deck. I feel like here people are also aware that like it's not an issue for you, people can be dead to you in a minute, they can be cut off. You're not afraid. And listen, publicly, this can be even if people know you a bit, you could be just because you're talking about this, or maybe you've done this in the past, they get this idea of you that it's not that hard for you. Okay. Maybe it's not, maybe it is on the inside, but I feel like here you've probably said goodbye to a lot of people who are no longer doing it for you, or, maybe they were acting a particular way, or maybe it has something to do with that karma. But I feel like people are aware that also if they mess with you, they could be like this, dead to you, even if it's not them, it's other people. Maybe it's other people. So I think here, it's quite interesting. Like you put an end to things, the end of a situation, like you will be that one to just make that move. Like, when to act, when to close the door. You're not afraid of it. You're not afraid of endings, you're not afraid of, putting those that, again, who belong behind the door. People get that about you. They see that publicly, that, again, when it's time to act, it's time to act, and there's no qualms about it. More. Crown, honor and respect will come to you. So people do really respect you publicly, and I think a lot of it is just because of all the stuff I just said. I'm not really shocked by that card, You could also just have this way about you, though, like royalty, Maybe it's the way you walk with your head up, your shoulders back. Like there's just, you don't care. You don't care. You love you, you went through things, whether you went through things, whether you have not went through things. I'm sure everybody has. You just hold your head up, and publicly there's a lot of respect for that. There's a lot of respect, period, here for you. You're a trailblazer in a sense. You do the things that others wouldn't do. You act, when, others are too scared to. There's just so much respect for you. And I think this is a great image to have, just because I resonate with this a lot. I think if you want to be, being portrayed in a particular way publicly, this would be ideal. You have a bit of funness, you a bit of silly, but like, hey, like, don't cross the line with me, okay? And I think you also demand it effortlessly, just even the air that you are, carrying with you when you walk into a room or when people know you for a bit, of honor and respect. It's just immediate. It's immediate right away. Like people just, you gain it. And that's also a gift as well too. Okay. So listen, I have a lot of clients who always kind of, I get a lot of questions within private readings about how they can kind of exude this more or protect themselves more. So you've got that. So great job. Great job. Okay. So now let's get two from here. Two from here on what you're exuding publicly. Pile one, what do they exude publicly? How do people receive them publicly? Confession. Someone has to tell you something. Oh, confession. How do people view you publicly? That's interesting for me. I'm going to pull one card because I think I have an idea, but I want to be very sure. So I'm going to draw a couple cards with that to find out really what that means. I think you could have a lot of admirers publicly, but give me more. Yeah. So publicly you're very attractive. I think we've got a lot of secret admirers. We do have the Knight of Wands here, which is very, very sexual in nature. I feel like you exude a lot of that from others publicly. There could be a lot of people who watch you or like, meet you at first publicly and just automatically, want to confess something, or they've got something to say, or they feel something. This just feels to me like when people see you and it's like maybe they hold back, but they would say a lot if they could. But this feels like admirers to me. You're very attractive, okay, to whatever you're interested in. I just feel like with this, this could be even people wanting to come towards you, publicly. And express these confessions like, hey, I got something to tell you. Like, damn, you're fine. Oh my God, you are this and that. Or, maybe even it's even interesting things like, hey, like I love the way you did your hair today, or I love this piece of jewelry you're wearing. I feel like people, when they meet you publicly, they want to instantly tell you something. So this is what I'm saying here about this group. You attract people in. I don't know why I'm hearing dopamine. It's almost like dopamine. Like I gotta come towards you. And that means that I mean that with anybody, okay? Even if it's like girl to girl and someone wants to be your friend. You are just, again, like an equal balance, but it's really nice. It's really nice. I feel like it pulls me in. It pulls me in. It's just enough, on each side to pull me in. It's not like you're like, you're fun, you look fun, but then it's also like a no nonsense here, right? I just think people publicly, they want to tell you things, and it could be because it's a confession. They hold back. Maybe they haven't said something. Maybe they keep it to themselves. That's why it's a confession. But I feel like when people meet you publicly, they instantly want to tell you something, and it's good. It's something they like with the Knight of Wands. They feel it right away. More. Okay. So we have this. Okay, I can't say the word. sexuality. Someone is still figuring themselves out. A lot of people could have chosen this pile who are teetering on both sides. Okay. Maybe go both ways. Who knows? But even if you are straight, it doesn't matter. I feel like you induce a lot of this. Okay. You could even attract both sex. Both sides, women and men. It's just sexual in nature, like your whole embodiment. You provoke that. There is a rawness Like, I don't know. It's just, I feel it. So you could be very attractive. And don't sit there and say you're not. Please don't do that. I just feel that. I really do. It feels to me like I instantly feel SEXUAL when I meet you or when I'm around you, you know, you're just doing that the most here. Okay. And again, for some of you, there could be a curiosity on whether you are. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have like some GAY people who have picked this pile. And if you're wondering why I'm spelling, I'm just not trying to trigger the algorithm. Okay. Who literally exude, maybe, not being straight. And that's something publicly that's being put out here through the reading because it's a thing. I mean, we all notice it, don't we? We notice people who are like, yeah, we can tell right away, right? Don't they call it GAYDAR? So listen, even if it's very subtle, but I feel like you have to be pretty psychic to see that. I mean, I usually have that. Even if a person's very subtle, I can tell underlying that they may be. But that could be very, very representative of, for somebody watching that they resonate with that, But if you're straight, like everybody's attracted, okay? It's a no-brainer with this pile. And I could see how it would be. Because again, like you've got youthfulness, you've got like, you're fun, but you've also got that other side that is just really like, it's like a prowl, like, time to act. It's like, that is very attractive, who really wants sometimes, not to bash the people who exude that, but who really wants to, who is sometimes attracted, to those that are, tend to be more shy or, a wilting will. It's usually the narcissists that do, right? But this is wonderful. So yeah, this is going to be a reading on how you are being exuded or not being exuded, how you are perceived publicly. Now let's tap into how you are viewed privately. Okay, that would be interesting. Interesting to see. See how that, differs. Okay, so we're going to go with this deck first. We're going to pull some cards on how you are, what you're like privately. Now, this is not how people are viewing you privately, although it could come up. This is just really about you and how you are privately. So I'm going to try and nail that through this reading. Let me know, as always, in the comment section. Let's find out. Let's channel everybody who's watching in group 1. Let's find out how they are viewed publicly. Privately, sorry. How they are viewed privately or how they are privately. Hostile work environment. Okay, so privately, I feel like here, now, this is not necessarily about the hostile workplace environment, but I feel like here you could, even though all those things I mentioned about you being brave and time to act, I think privately, how you are, you tend to sometimes maybe put up with things that you shouldn't really put up with. I'm not saying you don't, end things, but sometimes you do stay around longer in things that you shouldn't. I think this actually points to somebody being a little bit more fair, okay? Fair, trying sometimes to, correct situations. But listen, I have to read this as it is. Maybe you could be the person privately who is, tends to kind of stir up drama. Listen, I have to read the cards how I do, okay? If you don't like that, if it doesn't resonate, then, just don't. Just take what resonates, leave the rest. But some of you could be a little bit of like a pot stir, okay? Maybe you tend to kind of like have your workplace privately, your workplace is not even aware it's you. Or maybe you are the one that tends to stir up the drama. If that doesn't resonate, just don't worry. But I feel like here you could sometimes be, the one who creates the hostile, environments. Now, if that doesn't also resonate, it could be that privately people wouldn't even realize that it would be shocking to find out that you deal with that a lot. You maybe, deal with environments that are hostile that they would be shocked to find out that you deal with. And I could see how that could resonate because I can kind of do that as well too. I can exude all I want publicly, but I've put up with a hostile environment, here and there. Okay, not for long, but I've dealt with it. And sometimes maybe if it is your workplace and that's something even that you're dealing with right now, they would be shocked that you're dealing with it to find out that you deal with a hostile work environment. Like, you? Really, you? I wouldn't even think that, or even if it's not just a workplace, it could be an environment, period. Or maybe you've been or you've come from a hostile environment, maybe that's how you grew up. Maybe this also points to like your story, finding out like, wow, that's the way you grew up. Oh, that happened to you. Wow. It would be shocking to find out. So this makes me feel like privately there's something else going on that's really deep. And it could be in your background story or like your childhood story. Because of how you exude yourself, so, proudly and respectfully. And again, it points to that thing in the other reading is that, maybe it took you a while to get to the point where, you had to kind of stand up for yourself, but this is your backstory. Like, you come from that. So maybe that's what made you so strong. More. Dragging their feet in committal. Okay, so privately, I feel like here, you could be a person who's a little bit, and just bear with me to get all the interpretations out. You could be a person who is very fearful of commitment privately. It's a little bit worrying for you. Maybe you just have not, gone to the point where you are capable or feel like you could put your best foot forward with committal. And that could be with anything. Maybe you can't commit to things. Maybe it's hard for you to commit to things. Maybe you come across very strong publicly, but inwardly, it scares the shit of you to become, committed. And that doesn't have to just be to a person. It could just be of your time, your energy, your space. Maybe you just don't want to get very deep with people. Maybe you tend to this could be also that you come across sometimes as flaky or very light and fluffy. I understand that. I'm like that as well too. I don't really like to get, super close because, it's not really there's a problem. It's just I'm very busy. And maybe that could be your story too, that you are very busy or that you've got a lot of things to do or you just don't like needy people, But privately, even though maybe, publicly you are, all for a good time or going out, you tend to like to keep to yourself, do your own thing. But this also, I feel like could talk about for some of you privately. Listen, I have to read it. People would be shocked maybe even to find out privately that maybe, you're in a relationship with somebody and what they do to you, like how they treat you. Maybe they don't commit to you. Maybe this is also expressing a side of, what you put outwards is not really what's happening on the background, which I understand. It's nobody's business, but the cards will reveal that. You know what I mean? They will. But I do feel like with this, it could go all different ways. And I just feel like here, people may feel you're very solid on the outwards. Like, yeah, you have people's backs and stuff like that. But there's also a side of you that's very drifty, a drifter, light and fluffy, not really too into the commitment. Like to do your own thing, don't really like too much to kind of be so much a part of the crowd. Yes, you like to have a good time, but at the end of the day, it's you. It's always been you. It's always been you, yourself, and I, okay? And at the end of the day, that's who you have the most loyalty to. So it could be also that as well. Okay, more privately. What is this person who has chosen group 1 like privately? Sidetracked. So I think you're very busy. I think you've got a lot of things going on. You could be very introspective. I do see here the moon in the background. And I do feel like here, there is a lot about, one's path. I think people would be shocked to kind of find out that sometimes you're unsure of yourself or you're unsure of where to go. Because again, you do exude this having it all together vibe outwardly, But inwardly, you do think a lot about all the different ways that you could move, your options. Maybe you wouldn't admit it publicly, but you are, sidetracked a lot. You get sidetracked a lot. You tend to, not know which way to move. But people, I feel like, publicly feel like you have all the answers, or you seem like somebody who has all the answers, but you're human, just like, the next person. And you do often, contemplate like a lot about your life, and you're a deep thinker, and you're really like just trying to sort out, a lot behind the scenes, but it's just not being put out publicly. You really are and tend to put yourself out there as like an assured person. And I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose, but a lot of these things I feel like here, they make sense to me because they're private. It's stuff that is like, you wouldn't really, maybe you're a type of person who really wouldn't want to show that. Maybe for you, it may look weak, so you just tend to not do that, you would rather put yourself out as an assured person. There could be a bit of like, a contrast here, but with the sidetracked, I think people would be shocked to find out that privately you don't have all the answers, and you do think a lot, and you do wonder, and you do make mistakes. I am hearing that. People would be shocked that you make mistakes because, again, you just are so together on the outside. Interesting. Okay, so let's get, now we'll move to this deck. So let's get one card for how you exude yourself privately, or how you are portrayed privately, or what you're really like privately. I'm just throwing everything out there to Spirit just in case they want to bring something forward to you. But we're really talking about what you're like privately. So bring the best card forward, please. Yeah, you're pretty hard on yourself, You're pretty hard on yourself with the Judgment. I do feel like this is also an awakening card. I feel like if a lot of you are spiritual, and when I say spiritual, I mean like you're aware at this point that you're on a spiritual path. You've went through some awakenings. You tend not to put it out there, too much. It could be something that is, for you private, not anybody else's business. But I feel like you get a lot. There's a lot that comes through with you privately, but I just feel like it's just not shared, or it's not an open discussion. I feel like people would probably have to get you to know you very well, to find out this about you, you would have to trust them, because I feel like with the Judgment, it's such a big card energy. It's so big. It's major arcana. It's like ground shaking, with the Judgment, that I feel like here, you'd have to really trust somebody for them to see that side of you, because I feel like you do question a lot. You question yourself, you question your surroundings, you question your life. I feel like here, there could be a lot that has happened to you in your life, that could be very sensitive, private information, like ground shattering situations have happened to you, but you don't necessarily feel the need to express it. But I feel like if someone was to be, gain your trust, you would let them know. You would let them know. You may drip by drip let them know that, I'm not as perfect as you think I am. I'm human, and I've went through a lot of things, and I feel like privately I'm hearing I get attacked every day. I'm triggered. I get, like I have a lot I have to work through. I think this is introspectiveness. I think people would be shocked that you would be this introspective. Because again, outwardly, it's like this ducks in a row thing, So that's cool. Really cool. And don't take any of these things that I'm saying and think that it's like, not good, or it's a downfall of yours. No, this is actually very normal. People do this every day, okay? So let's get 3 cards now from this deck. Let's find out what you're like privately. What is group 1 like privately? Doing something risky, taking a chance. So this is good. We've got the tiger again. So listen, we had the lion before. Now we have the tiger. So there is something here that, very much coincides with the public you. You are very, adamant about living this life. Very YOLO, very YOLO. And I feel like here you're not afraid to take a chance. You're not afraid to take a risk. I feel like you've also learned this to do this because maybe there was a side of you before. As we evolve, I don't know if you know this, but as we evolve, our public image actually starts to disintegrate and then we just become who we are. So maybe we're also, watching this. You guys are watching this at a time where, it is kind of falling away. But I do feel like this is very indicative of the card that we got, in the previous spread. So you are privately, just like how you are publicly, you are into risks. You are into taking chances. You are into, I feel like, doing something different, And I do feel like what's interesting about the Judgment card is I feel like you also get called to do these things, So a lot of you could be very in tune with your higher self. I wouldn't be surprised because the Judgment card is a calling card. It's a calling card. It's like when you hear it, that's why we have the angel with the trumpet. You just must follow. That is a card that I also, for me, I kind of, equate to when I got the call to go on YouTube. I didn't want to go on YouTube, but my higher self was like, you're going on YouTube. So that also, that's why I call it the calling card, because I feel like a lot of you do receive these insights. You are very spiritual, even though maybe publicly you don't, seem like that. And when it's time to act or do something, like you will take a chance. So you could be very, brave, have a bravado about you, be very, free with yourself that way. But that is coinciding with how you are publicly. So that's good that we're getting like the same thing, at least one thing that's the same thing. Because up here, it was a little bit different. Okay, let's get more. Diamond, you'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Okay, so privately, I feel like here you could be extremely generous. Maybe not outwardly, because I do feel like it's very selective here with this group. I just don't feel like you're just giving your time and energy and space to everybody. I really do feel like with the diamond, these people need to be diamonds. They need to be diamonds in the rough. They need to be, tough. They need to be people who have proven themselves, like the diamond. The diamond, can fall many times. It just doesn't crack, right? So I just feel like here, not even so much people, but privately, you're extremely generous, with those that you love. And it may not even be about gift giving, although some of you could resonate with that, but it doesn't have to even be about that. I just think for you privately, you're looking for the diamonds. You're not looking for, just anything and everything. And if people publicly feel like sometimes it's hard to kind of get in, it's because you're just not for everybody or you're not wanting to be around everybody. You've got standards, you've got selections. It's what feels right. And I feel like here when those people do enter your space though, like when they are actually in, you could be the most loving, person with your time, your energy, your space. I feel like people would be shocked about that. And those are the ones that are not in, that have not been, have gotten in. I think there could be this contrast where people maybe think you're mean or you would probably be a terrible friend, but they don't got no idea. They don't have no idea what you're really like. It's that you're selective. It's just not a free for all here. Okay. More. Okay, kite. We have vacation. So I think this also, points to that that card that we got. What was that card that we got here? The childish behavior card with the free. I think with the vacation card, I feel like privately you like to have a lot of free time for yourself. Maybe you could come across as a workaholic or somebody who, maybe is very into, getting those ducks in a row or, going to the top. But I feel like with the vacation card, ultimately, you're going to always do what's best for you. And if that includes a lot of vacations, or that includes privately, just being, like the kite, how it's just free. It just flows through the sky. You will be very spontaneous with that. And if you need it, you will do it. You will take a vacation. You come across as very strong on the outside, and maybe this person who, would be all about the routine, all about the responsibility, but like you're also free with yourself. And that's what I love, is that there's a good contrast here. There's an excellent contrast here. Now, privately, I feel like here there could be a lot of vacations that are taken that nobody knows about. I don't know why that's coming through. There could be this side of you that maybe people don't know where the heck you are ever. You're like, yeah, I'm going on vacation, even if it's up north, even if it's like, an hour drive, like I'm taking off, just like the kite. You could be very much like that, but it's private, as in like we don't know like where you are ever. Maybe you don't share about it, you could be very private about that, but that's something you do for yourself, which is beautiful. I'm all for that type of stuff. So that's wonderful. Okay, so let's get 2 cards now from this deck on what you're like privately. We're channeling everybody who's watching in group 1. What are they like privately? Open up your heart. It will help you attract more love. Yeah, your heart is very open. I think to a lot of people, it seems like it's closed, or that maybe you're even bitter or upset, or just, I don't know, not the most friendliest sometimes. But I think here inside your circle, or when those that know you very privately, you're just like the most giving, kind-hearted person, and you do let them in. You do let them in. And this could be that, people have maybe, labeled you as somebody with a cold heart or a closed up heart, but they have no idea. It's just they're not in the circle. They are not in the circle. They're not in the circle. They have no idea who you really are. And I do feel like now I am getting, a lot of judgment from those that, think they know you. You could be very different privately. Some people are not, different. Some people, just to let you know, are very much the same publicly as they are privately. And, we'll see that going, I'm only on the first pile. But I just want you to know that with you, you're very contrasting in some things, okay? But I think privately, you just like, these people who are in your heart, they stay there forever. And you're very kind. You're very kind and willing to help anybody in need. Like I'm even hearing like somebody calling you up at 3 a.m. and telling you that they have a flat tire. And if you care about them enough, like you will go there. Although some people, if they were to talk about you behind your back, would say that, oh yeah, that person, they'll leave me. They would leave me, in a bind, but it's like, it's just so different. It's like those people aren't in the circle. Okay, more. Pile 1, how are they? What are they like privately? Distance. You and your partner may be physically or emotionally distant. So with the distance card, privately, I feel like here, for some of you, maybe people are not aware of a particular connection that you have. Okay, there could be a connection privately that people are unaware of, or privately, just this is about you, where you are extremely physically and emotionally distant. So there could have been a great love, I'm hearing, for you, that you keep very near and dear to your heart privately. But this could also be here, those that are viewing you publicly, maybe even people who you've separated from, or people who you no longer consider friends or family or whatever. This could be them coming through. There could be a distance with those. And maybe there's also a wondering of like, do you think about them? What happened to you? Where are you? But I feel like, why is this coming through? I have to draw a card. Why is this coming through in the private aspect of you? Some of you could have a secret love that nobody knows about. And it doesn't mean that you're cheating. It's just something you hold very near and dear to your heart, but nobody knows about it, like publicly. Because I do get here, now that I've read this pile, that you are very, you know, you're not the most, outlandish with all of your business, okay? Give me more on the distance. So it's actually pointing to two things, just like what I interpreted. I feel like here, there are people who are coming through in this reading who you no longer speak to. They wonder. So this is something that was painfully ended. They wonder privately. Why is that coming through? That could be for some few people. They wonder privately, like, do you wonder about them at all? Do you care about them at all? Would you want to reconcile? Where are you? Do you privately, do you really, not privately, but do you really feel anything? Do you care about me? Do you think about me? I feel like here, this Four of Cups is very symbolic of an olive branch being extended. So I feel like this is coming through. Could just be like, a message for a few. That, those that are at distance from you or those that you have cut off, really wonder, because publicly they can't tell. They could be watching you on social media. They could be watching you, like, to see if there's any kind of hint, at all, that you feel anything or you remember them. But then we've also got this Knight of Cups. So I do feel like there has been a secret romance or a secret love that privately you hold very near and dear to your heart. And why that's coming through, I will never know. Why the spirit does what it does, but I feel like it could just be the validation that this is your pile. But I feel like there is a secret love that people don't know about, something that I feel like was painfully, ended, or it was really, extremely, it was hard. It was hard to deal with, okay? It was hard to go through, but it's something you hold near dear to your heart. And I get why this could come through in the private section, because publicly you're not open about it, but it is a part of you. It's a huge part of you. So that's why it's coming through now. So wow, let me know, pile one, what you thought about this reading. I would love to hear. I wish you all the best. Take care. Hi everyone. Okay, so if you were gravitated towards image 2, this is going to be a reading, but before we start, a couple things to note. Please go check the comment section. There is a pinned comment by me. You can access a bunch of links, one to my Etsy shop should you be interested in a personal. Second, my Patreon platform. I do have a lot of pick-a-cards over there. If you do want to access them, you can gain access right through that link, as well as the link to my second channel. A lot of you still don't know that I have a second channel. Go check it out. Please also, if you are liking my content and the way that I read, please make sure that you are subscribed and hitting the all notification button. I don't want any of you to miss out on a reading from me or when I go live. So make sure that is on, and that goes for pre-existing subscribers as well. Okay, so I purposely did not put the writing at the bottom. Okay, these are my images that you see on the thumbnail. They are from my deck, but I didn't want to include what was said on the bottom because I didn't want it to deter you or sway you from picking the actual image. Now, this card, okay, amongst many more that we're going to be drawing, represents your public image, okay, how you're perceived publicly. So this card says, lights on, but no one's home, okay? Now, just bear with me. This is going to be a long reading. You tend to come across as very detached. I feel like when people are around you, it's like, do you even see me? Do you even see me? And that can go for strangers. That can go for the cashier that's meeting you. That can even be for people who know you a bit. I feel like there's a disinterest, okay? People feel like you could sometimes be at times disinterested, detached, not even see me. This could also even be a fluctuation, maybe even in moods. You can come across like that. But listen, what's great about this card is that I feel like for some of you, people could tend to think sometimes or question whether the way you act is an act. Like, is this public, way that you move? Is it really you or is it an act? There's a big question mark, I feel like, around you, not really knowing who you are. And sometimes you can be a bit of a chameleon and change, or is it a chameleon or a gecko? I have no idea. Anyways, you can go from, one extreme to another, I feel like. And I am going to say another thing. This may be a particular tactic that is very smart on your end, okay? You could play at times like the lights are on, but no one's home. And it's almost to gain an advantage over an enemy or your enemies or even people, period. We all know this is a thing. There are people out there who tend to play, dumb, but they're not really dumb, okay? I actually admire those people. I have met a lot of people who are like that, and I find it really is a good way to be because you tend to outwit, outsmart your enemy. So that's just one thing, okay, that's coming up, but we are drawing more cards, so just be patient. So let's get 2 more cards. But I feel like publicly, people don't even have a clue as to who you are. And listen, I am hearing that some of you, this could be even people who have known you forever, family members who still don't know you. Maybe it's just the side that you show them, but that is not even who you are. We got a bit of like a trickster, but like unintentionally. I don't really feel like you're outwardly trying to play games. I just think you've got one of those, types of personality. And I wouldn't be surprised if we've got like, a lot of water signs choosing this, because I tend to find the water signs are like definitely a maze in itself in figuring out. But I feel like deep down as the reader, this is actually really works to your advantage. I feel like people overestimate you or underestimate you, sorry. And I'm excited to see what else you get. So let's just keep going. And we are going to be going with the public image first. We will be hitting your private side after, okay? Give us more on group 2. How are they viewed publicly? Or what is their public image? Anything you want to bring forth, Spirit? Opportunities away. Yeah, you're always going somewhere. You're always doing something. I feel like here publicly, you look like somebody who's just always in a rush to go somewhere, maybe on to the next thing. I feel like there's also this feeling when people know you just a little bit, that there's always something up the sleeve, like some sort of like, yeah, that person, I wouldn't be surprised if they just, up and quit tomorrow because something better came along. I feel like there's something like that. Like if I'm viewing you publicly, I wouldn't be surprised if you just took off or you just kind of like, I don't know, poof, gone, just always off doing something or on to the next thing. This guy actually on the card also has his back turned to me and he's in a hurry. He's off. Like there's a detachedness here, guys, with you. And I feel like publicly, you could be viewed as, I don't want to use the word successful, but like eyes on the prize, your focus is where you want it to be. And I do feel like publicly, I don't feel like if I'm around you, I feel like you waste your time on the wrong things. You're like laser focused. Wow. I'm actually, the more I'm reading pile 2 is the more I feel like I would be really pulled in by pile 2. It's that kind of like quiet, subtle energy that says a lot. It's like such big energy, but it's like quiet, and I've always found those types of people to be very interesting because I'm not that type. I'm kind of loud. I mean, I can't even, whisper if I wanted to. It's very difficult. But But I do remember meeting people like this and just always like, I just felt like I couldn't stop staring at them. There was something I was picking up. Like your energy is real strong. And I'm talking about even when you're saying nothing. Like I can feel you enter the room. I don't even care if you are like somewhere far back and I didn't actually physically see you. I feel your energy even before I see you. Like there's a lot of depth here. Wow. Okay, let's keep going. More on group two's public image. Bring back to life. Ooh, what's this about? Bring back to life. Rest in pieces. I have an idea of what this is. Okay. I understand what this is. So I feel like here, if people are, again, don't know who you are, they just see you out and about, or if they were to be, you know, aware of who you are, you tend to give off the impression like, and I know what this is. I know what this is fully. I don't know if I'm just very aware of people, but I kind of can sense all these things very easily. You are not the type that anybody wants to do anything to, because I feel like you could be like, just like that tombstone, rest in pieces, like just out, I'm out. You know, you don't necessarily need to communicate anything, but I feel like here, even though you're very quiet in energy or your presence is very loud and big and it makes a presence without you saying much, you do tend to give the impression to others that should they maybe do something, you could just, you know, maybe, you know, and outwardly we wouldn't notice it. But, you know, if you say the wrong thing to this group, they could be like out in a heartbeat and they won't necessarily need to communicate it to you. They will just be like gone. They will just be gone. I feel like people are aware of, and I don't want to say your sensitivity, but like the no chances, like we're not, you know, you're not out here to give chances. Like, you know, ooh, this is a lot of energy that I'm trying to put into words. It's very difficult. Passiveness. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. I feel like here people are aware that they could say something, not even be aware that it bothered you, but like aware that, you know, you could be very passive about it. Like this could be even about grudges or things that are in the past. But like with you, you don't have much of like a limit, okay? As far as testing, you know, testing the boundaries. Your boundaries, they're aware without you even speaking. Like this is very magical. Because with group one, I felt like it was vocal or the way that you spoke or whatever, or that person spoke in pile one. With this one, you don't have to say anything. People are aware of your standards and your limitations and your boundaries and all that without you saying much. It's very much in the body language. And I feel like here, you could be out in a heartbeat. Like that taking off, that running off, that passiveness. It's like, they're aware. So I feel like they tread very carefully around you. I feel like you also exude this energy that people wouldn't want to necessarily be mean. They kind of maybe want to put it in a better package or a lighter package, not go full blown at you because they're aware of like, again, that energy. Like this is interesting. I'm going to want anybody who chose this pile, if this is resonating with you, let me know in the comment section because I understand this, and I have seen this a lot on water signs, like very much with Cancer. You know, Cancer doesn't necessarily need you to know, okay? They just will be like, poof, gone, okay? Now, I'm not saying that you're a Cancer. I'm just using the energy of that sign because I feel like with this, you do a good job of like sending out that energy without saying much. People are aware that they need to be very careful around you. Because like, you're not going to really take it. You know, you're not that type that's going to combat with them. You'll just like, again, take off. Wow. I want to get a card on this. I'm kind of interested. This card is actually really drawing me into bringing back to life. I want to see what more we can get on that. Or even just to like validate what I picked up. Give me more on that bringing back to life. Are you kidding me? If anybody reads tarot, you know exactly what that means. That is hilarious. So yeah, like you're gone. You're gone. It's like, yeah, no. I feel like there's also this awareness that people have of your public image too, that like you're pretty solid. Even though maybe privately it could come out something different. Maybe even you're watching and saying, no, I'm a basket case. You're not putting that out publicly though. You're putting out this like stone cold, hard image, like a real secure foundation for like what you deal and put up with. And the moment, again, I feel like someone crosses the line, it's like peace with the 8 of Cups. Bye-bye. So that's funny. That's actually hilarious. Okay, so let's pull one card now from this deck. Let's get some more on your public image. How you're perceived. I feel like the light's on but no one's home can also indicate too there's not much. You know, I don't know if you've often heard people say like it's like pulling teeth to have a conversation with you, or like maybe you're like the queen or the king of one-liners. I feel like there's not much chatter here. So you tend to come across as not the chattiest person, someone who doesn't say much. But I will say though, like your energy, it's a mystery. It's a huge question mark. If you find that a lot of people tend to kind of stay away from you, I feel like they're actually low-key kind of scared, or they don't know what to make of you. Now, if there are others of you that find that people love your energy, you could be very comforting to be around. But again, it's like there's that aura of like, just really be careful, you know, like don't, without even saying it, which is pretty cool to me. Okay, let's get a card that represents pile 2, their public image. Wow. Okay. So listen, I have to go there with this deck. Look what's on the bottom. the water sign woman. But I'm not saying you're a water sign. Now listen, you can portray a water sign energy and you don't have to be one. It could be in your rising, but listen, it's energy. Everything is energy. So don't click off if you're like, I'm not a water sign. It doesn't matter. So 8 of Swords here, listen, don't also click off. You may not like this, okay? But a lot of people see you with the 8 of Swords as someone who could look like weak, or like that you could get like run over, or like, you know, I feel like there's a lot of protective energy around you, like, but it's kind of funny because you're completely the opposite of that. But I feel like publicly people kind of feel like, oh yeah, she probably, you know, would get trampled, or, you know, someone could take advantage of her, or, you know, could probably drown in her emotions, you know, is probably crying at night, you know. It's like with the 8 of Swords, it is like the card of like being trapped, kind of weak energy. Even as well too, it could be like a self-sabotage card. So I feel like there's a lot of chirping coming from my right ear on a lot of opinions about you, you know, what they're taking publicly about you. And there's a lot of unsolicited opinions, I feel like, that's coming forth through in this reading to say like, you know, you should do this, you should be more like this, you should do that, you shouldn't allow this, you shouldn't take that. Your strength doesn't come necessarily in being like a bulldozer. It's more of a silent type, you know, strength. But I feel like with the 8 of Swords, people view you sometimes as a victim. You look, and it could be because you look very innocent, you look shy, maybe you're soft-spoken, maybe you don't say much, you know, maybe, you know, you tend to kind of maybe come across as even like gullible, or, you know, too friendly, or, I don't know, soft-spoken, all that stuff. I feel like this is going to be very different when we read the private. And listen, some of you straight up, okay, straight up in this reading, could be doing this on purpose, okay, to get your way or to even like navigate through stuff. You know, some people just don't care to like be, you know, at the forefront. You know, they just want to get in, get what they have to get, and just get out, you know. But a lot of people, I understand this, just want to deal with things their way. And maybe this is also the way that it's like that playing smart, you know, playing dumb, but really you're playing smart. So maybe you come in this way so that nobody actually actively maybe even attacks you or comes for you. You know, you're that silent one, that silent, you know, Killer. I hope you get what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that you're actively playing games. I think you're actually being very smart, because these people in group 2 tend to be the ones that are like untouchable, you know? They get you in a way where it's like you even actually become like 8 of Swords around them, okay? And you don't really know what to do or how to, you know, perceive or how to, you know, address. So you have to be extremely careful with how you approach them. So this is why I say to you, it's actually smart. Because if you have somebody coming at, you know, like into a place like a bulldozer, you know, it tend to kind of give a different type of energy, and that can come with a whole other set of problems. But I feel like with you, you're like the underestimated one, you know? And then when you do come out, it's like, wow, who knew, you know? Who expected, who knew? It's interesting with this pile. Like, so far we're only on pile 2, but this is pretty cool. Pretty cool to me. Let me know again if that, you know, is resonating with you. Let's draw some cards from here. We're going to get 3 cards from here for image 2. It's crazy. I feel like people who, you know, view you publicly, it's like they're frustrated, but they also want to protect. But they're so inflicted by their own emotions around you. It's like you do that to people, you know? It's like very interesting. I'm at a loss for words. I really am. Give me more. Give me more with this group on, you know, their public image, how they're being viewed. Forest, yeah. See, muddled, unclear thinking. I think people don't know what to make of you. You're like a walking question mark. I think a lot of you, though, who are watching at this point got a good grip on who you are, and actually to some degree find this actually hilarious, because I think you're aware of it. I think you can actively, like, this group feels psychic to me. I don't know why. Very perceptive. But I feel like you actually enjoy it sometimes, because you can actively see people just in their mannerisms or the way that they behave, trying to figure out. You can sense that, and it's actually hilarious to you. But listen, your whole image, it's unclear. It's unclear. It's a big question mark. Like, who are you? I feel like there's this onion being peeled too. I feel like people are aware immediately that it's going to be a while. It's not going to be like an open book situation. It will be a while before they get to know who you are, and if they even get there. I do feel like people who even know you could probably still potentially look at you like this, even if they've known you for 10 years. Even if it's your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, they really, if they had to be put on the spot and ask about you, I think they would still not get you more. Bull, do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude. So, I think this is coming out as well too, because when I said to you about those unsolicited opinions, I think people view you like you need to be more like a bull. Didn't I just say bulldozer? That's kind of freaky now. We're getting the bull card. So I feel like here there's a lot about this, you know, backing down from, but they don't realize what you're doing. You're not necessarily backing down from opposition. You just don't feel like you need to educate people. It's like, I'm just too grown, or whatever your reason is. And it's like, I'm gone, you know, like, you lost me. That's it. You know, I don't need to tell you nothing. I'm not here to parent you or baby you or, I don't know, whatever your reason may be. But I feel like here, your public image gives off like this protective vibe. And I feel like I wouldn't be surprised with group 2 if a lot of people in your life always try to get you to be more, out there, show more strength, be more aggressive, be more like not shy, opposite of shy, outgoing, or do this, do that. I feel like that. That's why that card is coming out. Do not back down from opposition. I feel like a lot of people have told you that because again, your way is to close the door and just poof, gone. Okay, more. Scales, keep your life in balance. So listen, that's a good thing. I feel like here, I think when people are viewing you, I feel like one thing they can say is that there's something about the way that you live that is pretty remarkable. This is coming through as a positive thing. Okay. I think you have a good grip on, all aspects of your life, the way that you live. You've got, that's important to you. A lot of you could feel like it's very important for you to, keep your life in balance, not just give one aspect, of your category of life to one area, be in all areas. And I wouldn't be surprised too with the scales if we've got some Libras watching. Libras also can sometimes tend to do this as well too, so I wouldn't be surprised if we've got some. But with the scales, I feel like you've got a good grip on all aspects of your life. So you are someone I feel like to be looked up to. And it's your life personally, like the way you handle yourself. And this could even be organized energy. You tend to look like somebody who just has it, you look like somebody who's not like, how do I put this? Someone who would be in trouble, someone who would be like in poverty, maybe, erratic, you're in balance with everything. You've got like maybe a good set of money in the bank account. I'm not saying that anybody here is super rich. I'm just saying like you come across publicly like you've got order in your life, like you've got a good hold on your life. And I'm talking about like your foundation, where you live, who you are, around with, who you hang around with, your finances, your love life, your career. You seem like sorted out. So that's good. You're not coming across like I don't see here a train wreck or someone who's volatile. But I'm mainly talking about the way you carry yourself in life. Okay. What you have as an individual for yourself. So that's great. That's really wonderful. Okay, let's get some more cards. We're going to go to this deck now. Okay, so let's go with pile 2. Let's channel everybody in pile 2. How are they viewed publicly? Manifest. Tell the universe exactly what you want. So you look like somebody who gets whatever you want. Now, if you're watching and you're like, really? Remember, this is publicly. And, we're not talking about how you view yourself. We're talking about how others view yourself. And others view you, as somebody who gets exactly what you want. You always have what you need. You always get what you want. You're always doing something. Opportunities are always awaiting. I actually like that card too, because I feel like here you have this magic around you where even if you did resonate with those, things I was saying about taking off, you're always able to jump to the next thing. Like something always works out for you. You're never just in a bad spot. And it's beautiful because actually with this card, this 8 of Cups card, the walking away card, this person is walking away with all these trophies behind them. So it's not like you're just walking away with nothing. You've stacked all these things, whether that be it's your self-esteem, whether it be like, it's your career, whether you got a banging resume, whether you've got like, your faith in the universe, like you kind of have a good foundation that it allows you to be able to do these things where, if you want to just, take off, or, opportunities are always coming in, and that resonates with this card as well too. Like, you look like a lucky person. And if you're wondering, well, what does that look like? I can't tell you guys. It's all energy, but you do. And if somebody knows you just even a little bit more than just a stranger, they would see this. They'd be like, wow, like she always finds herself in some great spot, or she always nails a job, or there's always a guy after her, or whatever, If you resonate with the, manifestations period, that you also practice this as well too, they may know this if they know you a bit, and they may actually attach to your public image that you are very spiritual, that you practice this, and because of your faith in whatever it may be, the God, the universe, things always work out for you. So you've got a higher power, whether they're aware of it or not, but you look like a lucky person. You look like somebody who always gets your way. Or you literally get your way and people are seeing that. Things always work out. And maybe because you have that, where you're not afraid to walk away, maybe that's why it also works out. Because remember, fear, right? Fear will stop you from a lot of things. Maybe they're aware you don't have fear. Maybe they can feel that you don't have the fear. You're not afraid to just take off, or end something that's not working out for you. Okay, let's get one more card. One more card for this group. Commitment. Things are getting serious. Okay, so how people view you. I do feel like for some of you, people publicly think right off the bat that you're off the market, you're taken, you're in a commitment. And that could be for many things. Maybe you're very beautiful and people are like, well, of course that person's taken, or handsome. Of course they have somebody. People could view you like you're already taken. You're already off the market. Maybe that would resonate if maybe you always get asked that. Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? Whatever. But I feel like here, people also view you that you have these types of commitments in your life, like good people around. People, for some reason, just right off the bat, assume that you've got like great people in your life, or you're well taken care of, or you've got like probably a good family. You can look like that. I don't know why, but people can assume that. But I do feel like this is also about, marriage, or a commitment. Like, of course you've got somebody. Or if you're wearing a ring, if you do wear a ring, if you're watching this, people could assume that, through your public image that, you're married. That could be very just, to the point, okay? But if it's not that you're wearing a ring, I just feel like people automatically think that you've got somebody in your life. And if you told them you didn't, they would probably be maybe very shocked, okay? But I just feel like here, people don't assume you're single. Okay, so let's now move on to the private you. Okay, so with this, we're going to channel your private you. So it's not necessarily about how people view you, although I am leaving that up to spirit if they want to say something about it. And that would be people who obviously know you. But let's find out what you're like privately. Okay, let's get 3 cards. What is group 2 like privately? What are they really like privately? Trust your intuition. You're a lot more spiritually connected than people would realize, okay? I don't care how deep into spirituality you are, okay? Actually, let's move this out the way. I don't care how deep into spirituality you are. I think there are some things that you tend to keep private, maybe from whoever, it doesn't have to be that it's your close friends. Maybe it's some people that, you meet right away and they don't know, but you're a lot more psychic and intuitive than people know. And that would make sense even too if you're like a reader. I don't necessarily go around and tell people what I do. I just don't. Because, we're not at that age yet in time, or that time yet in, wherever we're at right now in 2024, where people are that, open to that yet. Okay. So I think this is your psychic abilities are coming through, and people would be shocked that this intuition of yours actually runs your life. Like, you're connected way more to your intuitive side than your logical side. And that could be even responsible for when you take off. It's like, why say anything? I'm just getting the guidance that, it's time to close the door, and that's that. So it could be, just as an example, maybe that's what happens with you, but you are so psychic, private, way more than people even realize. And maybe you can even see through people. Maybe that's, again, why you're giving that image to others. Like, she's so detached, or she doesn't talk to me. It's like pulling teeth. Well, maybe she can see right through you, and you stink, okay? Your energy stinks, and she doesn't want anything to do with you. Maybe that's what that is, because she's totally psychic and in tune to who you are, and she's not buying what you're selling, okay? More. Heart on their sleeve. Beautiful. I knew it. So you are a very, 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 very kind person, privately. So it takes, particular people, I feel like, for you to show that too. But you are like the most gentle, kindest soul. And that's why I'm saying, like, just when I do these readings, just bear with me, because some people may not like to hear some things, but, as you go into the reading more, things start to make sense. But you wear your heart on your sleeve. You would give, your last $5 to somebody on the street. If you were hungry, but you saw that they were hungry, you would give it to them. You would. You would even be, you're even so generous sometimes too, that, like, I feel like here privately, I think here privately, it's not that much of a shock. I think people do feel publicly that you are kind, but I feel like privately, that's just something also coming through here. I don't know that I can say with this group that there's a big contrast, okay? Like, people would think that you are not generous. I just think here they don't get to see that side of you, because this is something you do privately. You're only kind and generous to people that are, within the circle, okay? Within the ones that you feel comfortable with, maybe your soul tribe, people who feel right to you, So that's also coming through. Very beautiful. I'm not surprised by that. Let's get one more. How are group 3? What was group 3 like privately? So people tend to, like, this is actually a beautiful card, because I feel like this is very representative of what I was saying before. You tend to kind of come off like a goldfish, but you're really a shark. And when you're ready to put that shark fin on, like, you're ready to go. And he's swimming. This little fish is swimming, like, just, it could be also representative of the water sign energy, which would be funny. But he's swimming, he's off. He's put on his shark fin and he's gone. So privately, this is actually something that is really, true to who you are. When you get those instincts and you get those feelings like it's time to go, you go. But I also feel like you're underestimated. I think people tend to think you're a goldfish, but, like, you can play both sides. You can be the goldfish when it needs to be, when your intuition is calling for you to be. But then you can also slap on that shark fin as well too, and just, make your moves. You're not a wilting willow that people think that you are. And it's actually funny. It's funny to me. If this resonates, I feel like even you find this hilarious, because they don't know you. They don't know you. And when they do get to know the real you, it's just, you're off, you're gone. and they're just left in the dust. They don't know what the hell happened. They don't know what happened to you. But you can totally do a bait and switch. Privately, you are not what they think you are. You are actually so much more stronger, but you can play both sides, which is nice, you know? I think that's also what the balance is about too. When we got that balance card, I think you're a good balance of both, you know, when needed to be. So this is quite cute. Now let's get some cards from the tea leaf on what you're like privately. Let's get 3 cards for pile 3. Okay, I skipped the black cards, but that's okay. We can do it after. Okay, 3 cards for pile 3, what they're like privately. Wishbone, a wish is granted. Yeah, you're very, like, wow. Pile 2, like, you are so spiritually inclined. It's unbelievable. And all your wishes come true because of this faith that you have. Like, you're real strong in a way that I admire. I really admire this because, you know, you don't have to be loud about it. You don't have to be, giving people like a 4-page letter on who you are as a person, you know? But with the wishes granted, I feel like this privately, you've got a lot of luck on your side. And I do feel like as well too, you're also making your own wishes come true. I do feel like with this pile, there's a lot of like self goals, really committed to like one's, life, one's desires, the soul progression, the spiritual path. But I feel like privately, it is what it is. And you know what I love about this too? It's yours. I don't feel like with this pile that you're going out of your way, because there are people who go out of their way to cheat, lie, steal, manipulate to get what they want. You're doing it, authentically, with the universe. It's everything you get, you deserve. So, wow, unbelievable. You're very lucky privately. That's the real you. The real you is like you're a walking wishbone. Beautiful. More. Bag, something important such as a new job or a raise. So the bag for me is very, very symbolic for you getting what you want. I'm hearing it's in the bag. It's always in the bag. This is maybe your optimism. Your optimism. Now listen, I'm not saying that you don't have bad days. I mean, that would be ridiculous, okay? But for the most part, you're very optimistic. And I feel like this is also authentic because we're reading the private side now. This is not just the public side. So everything about you is very authentic. And this is what I'm talking about, is that, people view you as somebody who is always on to the next thing, always willing in things. Things always work out for you. Wow, that person has magic on their side, So this is all really authentic. I feel like you're just always on to something, privately. And this is coming through in your own private life. You know that there's always something going to be positive happening for you. Even if it hasn't happened yet, you keep yourself in that mind state. And I feel like that's why things always work out for you. Oh my goodness, guys. Pile 2 looks like it's doing it so far. Okay, let's get one more. Oh my God, victory in some endeavor. Okay, listen, after I've drawn these 3 cards, so you have the card of victory. After I've drawn these cards, I feel like as a reader, I've kind of come to the conclusion that you're quite strong in energy, okay? You know who you are privately, you know who you are, as opposed to publicly. People think you don't know who you are. They think you're weak. They think that's the facade, is that actually, no, really, I love myself. I've got a great attitude in life. I've got a positive outlook in life. And I know that I'm going to be victorious in whatever I do. So this is a lot of confidence coming through with this pile. Privately, you are a force to be reckoned with. Wow. Let's move on to this card. Let's get one card for you guys on your private image, what you're really like. You're the underdog. You're the underestimated one. Maybe even black sheep. I wouldn't be surprised. Have you read my recent community post? You should go check that out. That could resonate with you. This could be even starseed, all of that. I'm not putting anything past this group. Okay, give me a card for group 2 on, what they're like really privately. Wow. Expect the unexpected with you. You're like a walking windfall. You're like a walking success. You are just, you roll with the tides too. You got a great energy on you. You could probably teach a lot of this stuff to the right person. Somebody who, you could be a teacher, of life, how to like, get what you want while you're here. I feel like with that Wheel of Fortune, I mean, like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, pal, too? I mean, every card here has been about luck, and now you're getting the Wheel of Fortune. But I feel like you also know how to roll with the tides privately, your private you. Because that wheel is, it's not like steady, okay? So like what goes up comes down, but like you've got that, figured out. You are, a person who rolls with the tides. Privately though, I do want to say, the energy is just speaking a lot for like even looks. Like your looks are great, but like your energy is even better. And I feel like here, you're a walking windfall. You're a walking windfall. You're like a walking wishbone. Wow. I just want to see what else I pick up from this. You know what I love about the Wheel of Fortune too is I feel like you've used all your great attributes to like literally get what you want, I don't know what it may be, whatever that may be, person to person. It's a general reading, but I feel like you've taken what you've been working with, which is yourself, mastered those, good points, those good traits, tried to kind of, heal through the traits that you didn't like so much. And that's also kind of been, a masterpiece. It's been like molded into like a walking masterpiece. And because of that, that's why I feel like attract whatever you want in. Oh my. Oh my. Okay. Let's get 2 cards from this deck on what you're like privately. I love how like I'm on pile 2 at this point, and there are some things that are creeping, forth or coming out forth that, a lot of people are lined up, with what you're being exuded outwardly. There are some things that are, the same as privately. So that's good. I haven't had anybody who's completely viewed the wrong way so far. So I'm glad to see that there's some things that are, again, of the same coming through on both sides, because we do want to show our authentic self too as well, right? That's important. More. Okay, so group 2, what are they like privately? They'll be back. Expect to hear from them soon. I feel like this has a lot to do with the walking away or the ending. I feel like here privately, you know your worth. You know your worth, and you don't allow people to overstep, okay? Regardless of how people are viewing you publicly, maybe some people have overstepped because they misunderstood you or they saw you differently. They saw you like that 8 of Swords, maybe weak, shy, whatever. But I feel like here privately, you're not afraid to walk away. You're not afraid of what doesn't feel right. This is also very tied into that let go and let God, which I like, because a lot of people stay stuck in things because they refuse to let go. I feel like you're not afraid to let go. That's why this fish is swimming away. He's strapped on his shark fin and he's swimming away. He knows how to move away from things that no longer serve him. So this is good. This is really good. I feel like this is very representative of all the people you've left behind or situations, not knowing what hit them in the face. So what you're like privately, you honor yourself, you respect yourself, and you know when to walk away. Wow. Okay, one more. Move on. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, guys? Move on. Someone is unavailable, a waste of time. It's over. It's over. Privately, you are not afraid to move on. I think you're very underestimated here. I think people don't think you can move on, or you would ever do something like that to them. Yeah, you're not into wasting your time at all with this group. Like privately, you know your worth. I'm going to say it again. And when someone is unavailable, whether that be emotionally, physically, whatever, you move on. Whether someone's a waste of time, you move on. And when it's over, you move on. So, wow, I'm really impressed by this group. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. It was very, exciting to do your reading. I enjoyed it as the reader. I wish you all the best. Keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Okay, so if you were attracted to image 3, this is going to be a reading. But before we start, a couple things to note. Please go check out the comment section within the pinned comment from me. You will find very important links. One will be to my Etsy shop. If you do want to book a private reading, you can do that through my Etsy shop, as well as you can find my Patreon link there. If you like, what you're seeing here and you want to see more, I do offer 400 extra pick-a-cards on there for as little as $7 per month. So you can definitely gain access through those links, as well as check out my second channel. A lot of you don't know that I have another YouTube channel. I do talk about spirituality, the new earth, and just life. So you may want to head on over there. There could be some things or some topics of interest, as well as make sure that you are subscribing if you are liking what you are seeing here, if you like the way I read, my content. I don't want you missing out on a reading from me or when I go live. So make sure you're doing so and have all notifications on. And that goes for pre-existing subscribers as well. So that image on the thumbnail, that was, this card. I purposely left out the wording because I did not want you to be swayed by it or put off by the wording. So this is going to represent what you are publicly, how you're perceived. Now, that doesn't mean that it's true, okay? But we will be drawing more cards. This will be a very long reading. So, get a blanket, get a pot of, hot coffee on, or, hot chocolate, get warm and cozy because it's going to be a while. So let's just go with this card. So this card does say self-obsessed. Okay. I know a lot of you are, in your mind going towards a negative thing right now. Doesn't have to be, but publicly you give off the vibe. You are perceived as somebody who is very sure of yourself, you may even look really, amazing, wonderfully put together. You could, I feel like, even though, I does say self-obsessed, I am just channeling the image here. She is wearing quite a nice dress, okay? So you could look materialistically really nice. Maybe you have a lot of pride in the way that you look. People can see that. I mean, are you kidding me? The effort that is going into your look. And if that's something that you are intentionally wanting, to be appreciated for, you are receiving it. You are perceived as someone who puts a lot of effort into your look. But you could also just come across as quite confident, somebody who just loves themselves. But maybe even somebody who is, connected, she has the phone in her hand, she looks like she's about to post a selfie. You could be a type of person who is perceived. And remember, this doesn't have to be that it's accurate, okay? But this is just the way that you're perceived. Just like I was always perceived my whole life that I was a party girl, and it was furthest from the truth, okay? But you could also be, just this type that maybe is attached to social media. Maybe people see you and be like, yeah, that person, they probably have a social media presence. Or, if I was to take a look at their Instagram page, it would probably be like filled with things. But for the most part, you come across, I feel like, as even a little untouchable. Like, I'm getting this quote, not a quote, but the saying in my head, like, what could we possibly say about her or him? Like, I couldn't find a flaw. Like, it could be even flawless. There's a flawlessness about you. What would we attack? She pretty much, or he pretty much looks perfect in every sense. And I do want to say as well here too, I do feel like there could be some people who are very fit and your physical body is very much being perceived. And when we see people who have, that physicality, it definitely is representative of how they care about themselves. I feel like as you get older, we have to appreciate that more. So if you are somebody who is physically fit or goes out of your way to, go to the gym and take care of yourself, then I kudos you, because that does take a lot of effort, a lot of will and a lot of strength to keep up with. But you could also be perceived like it's noted when we look at you that, yeah, like that person definitely probably goes to the gym, but also very beautiful, very beautiful. And listen, don't go to the nines with this. If you tend to be somebody who's fashionable, but you feel like you're not on trend, it doesn't matter. It's just generally, okay? But very beautiful, knows how to like maybe even do yourself up. Like there could be something really big about fashion here, knowing what your points are, highlighting your best attributes, all of that stuff. So let's get more on how you are perceived publicly. We're channeling everybody who's watching in group 3. And this could just be an attitude of yours, the way you carry yourself. It doesn't have to be. So if you don't resonate with, the fact that you're stylish or that you have, expensive stuff on, it could just be the way you carry yourself. But listen, I have to be real here. There could be also this type of energy of like, a know-it-all, looking like maybe bossy. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some people who chose this pile who feel like they deter people in public. Like maybe they have issues with men approaching or whatever. There could be an intimidation here. I'm not going to lie. You could give off, people could feel intimidated by you. But if, again, you have to mold it to yourself. So if you don't resonate with any of that stuff I said, with the fancy clothes, you could just have this air of authority, an air of, a healthy amount of arrogance, okay? Just could be the way that you have your face. Sometimes people just have these like pointed eyebrows, maybe like, a resting bee face, but they're not like that. They're not like that. So it's all of that. Let's get more. Let's get more on how pile 3 is perceived publicly. Control, Alt, Delete. So listen, I feel like this is very much about the energy around you. I feel like it's off-putting. It's off-putting. But it doesn't have to be in a bad way. I just feel like there's an intimidation, okay? There's an intimidation with you. Your energy could be very strong though, and people who maybe tend to not be able to handle that, or maybe be, in your ballpark in a sense, it could be very like deterring, okay? I feel like with the Control, Alt, Delete, but you also look like somebody who could have no qualms about giving it to somebody, the Control, Alt, Delete can be even representative of like dismissing. So I think there's a little bit of a scared energy here of being dismissed. Rejection as well too. So again, let me know in the comment section if that makes sense to you. Do you find it's very hard for like people to approach you in person? And I mean anybody, maybe even look at you in the eyes. Maybe even interviewers get awkward. I wonder if this is also, they're giving me that thing that's going around. What's it called? Pretty girl. Oh goodness. They've come up with a word now. I just can't remember it. It's like when that pretty girl stuff works against you, that type of stuff. I'm feeling that with this group. This could also be control, alt, delete, rejection of you because of this. Maybe you've fought your whole life to kind of be seen and heard because people were just judging you by, your outlook, your outer look. Sorry, not your outlook, your outer look. More. Hit the brakes. I mean, are you kidding me? Yeah, I don't know. You're pretty interesting, pile 3. I just feel like there's a lot of like fear. I'm not saying that these people are right, how you are viewed. I just feel like here, this is your image, your personality, not your personality, but your public image. It's worked against you a lot, it's worked against you a lot, but I do feel like this goes both ways. I feel like people are also a little bit fearful of you. You're a lot to take in. I don't care I'm not saying that you're walking around like her, wearing this like princess dress, okay? But you're a lot in looks, energy, you exude authority. You may be even, a no-nonsense type of person. It's a lot to take in. And listen, I really wouldn't be surprised as well, too, if you've got an extra added bit of like light worker energy, because I find, too, that light workers also carry this aura that reflects back to people a lot. It's like a triggering. I wouldn't be surprised if you trigger a lot of people and you're like, what did I do? I just showed up. I literally just showed up. I didn't even open my mouth. I didn't even get a chance to sit down, take my coat off. Like I just showed up. Wow. Like, let's get more. I don't want to keep talking because I could talk about these points all day because I resonate with a lot of this, I think to know you, you have to get to really know you. I think if people are just seeing you publicly or, this points to me like more like strangers when they're seeing you, how they perceive you. I feel like this could really work against you. I'm not saying that people don't like you, but I feel like, look at these 2 cards, control, alt, delete, and hit the brakes. It's like there's a block here. I don't know. I feel like people are just, I don't know, very intimidating. Okay, let's get a card from here. One card from here to represent those that are watching in group 3 and how they're perceived publicly. Oh, okay. So 6 of Cups. So listen, I think the meeting you with the 6 of Cups, it's quite interesting because I feel like this is beautiful. I think it feels good to meet you, but I feel like I need one more. Well, I've only been drawing one for everybody else, but with this one, because I do feel like here with the 6 of Cups, you're beautiful. You're really beautiful to me. But then I need something that's going to round out these cards. Give me more. Yeah, you trigger people with the Lovers. You really do. I feel like here listen, you're very attractive, like to women and men. Okay, you're a lot. 6 of Cups, I feel like time stops when people meet you publicly. 6 of Cups can be really like a really nice nostalgic feeling. Almost feeling like you met somebody from the past. It's like you know them. It's like you're hit by it. You're mesmerized by it, right? And then we have the Lovers here, which I feel like there's also temptation. I think a lot of people don't trust themselves around you, which is weird, right? I think this is also triggering. Like there's a lot of triggering because if you don't trust yourself around somebody, right? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that can kind of result into a lot of like things that are not, this person's fault, like your person's fault, like you, sorry. So let's say, for example, you went to an interview, right? And someone interviewed you, and I don't know, they started to feel triggered. They may not want to hire you, and it has nothing to do with you or your resume, but I feel like these things can work against you. They can really work against you with the lovers. I feel like here, it can be very triggering to like meet you. It brings up everything, and the lovers is also, I feel like, difficult choices as well too. So this can also point to, not really knowing how to take you. It's like hard to swallow. It's hard to swallow, but I don't want this to get twisted. I'm not saying that you're not a great person. I'm not saying that people don't like you, but Spirit is, taking this time right now while they have your, focus to bring out maybe things that you need cleared up. Maybe a lot of you are wondering, like, what the heck is the problem? And that's what's being brought forth here, because that's something you need to know. But I just feel like here, like, I don't know, it's a mixed bag. It's like lovely to look at, but I'm also triggered. I'm also triggered by this person. I don't know. I want to hit the brakes. I need to pause. I need to take a pause on this, and that could also result into maybe why you're not approached a lot. I don't know. Or that's like that pretty girl, Jesus, I forgot the word. They've come up with this word now, this saying. It's like when it works against you to be pretty. I seen it trending on Instagram, but I don't remember how they say it. I'm just going to look at these cards and see if I get more. Publicly, how you are perceived. I think people get very afraid of what they can feel with you. I'm telling you, you trigger people. I feel like people instantly fall in love with you and get really scared about, I don't know, you hurting them. Maybe in the future, it's not even there, but it's like, what will you do? What will you do to me? Really interesting energy. Let's get more from this deck. There was the card that just flipped over was a gong, and it's like actually says an exciting event. So it's kind of funny because you are exciting. You're pretty exciting. You're actually a lot more exciting than most people. And I feel like here it's I don't know. I am seeing, maybe for some of you, you tend to be the most exciting person in like everywhere you go. But it's also, again, that word, triggering. But you're an exciting event when you show up on the scene, that's for sure. There's nothing boring about this group. Okay, give me more. Give me more on how this group is perceived publicly. A goal-oriented person. So with the Target, I feel like here, again, you look like somebody who's doing big things. You don't look like somebody, who's like a couch potato, or maybe just not that ambitious. You look very ambitious. You look like somebody who is in it to win it. If there was a competition, you would nail it. You would win it. You look like a winner. You are a winner with the Target. I mean, the bow is right in the center. You are a winner. You look like one. And I feel like also too, that could be a lot of the reasons why people are triggered. Yeah, a lot of the reasons why. Oh goodness. We have to evolve, I feel like, in humanity, but we will. I just feel like, you're a perfect example of, like, again, a light worker. I know it's kind of different from what I'm saying about, other attributes, but I do feel like you are a light worker as well too, because light workers have the same thing. They show up and they just, I don't know, trigger the F out of people. Give me more. Angel, spiritual guidance, protection from harm. So listen, you are really special. People think you're special. They think you're extremely special, but also untouchable. You look like a movie star or something that is different, that they've never experienced before. And it's a bit out of their range. I feel like everywhere you go. I feel like with this group, I'm getting more of like strangers than people who know you a bit. Because even people who know you a bit don't really know you fully. So they could come through, but with this group, I'm getting a lot with like strangers. So there must be a lot of people who have chosen this pile who have a lot of bizarre encounters, you know, in public, you know, maybe even people are rude to you. I don't know. I just feel like here you're so protected. They can even feel this aura. Like I feel like this is actually talking about your aura. Your aura is extremely strong. Extremely strong. It's not even just about you and your physicality, like your actual, like, you know, vessel. It's also about like this light you bring everywhere with you. She's actually holding, I just noticed that she's actually holding the light. It's a candle, but it's like a light, right? In her hand. And she's able to do kind of in a way, I don't know why I'm hearing this, but VOODOO with it. I feel like here you cast spells everywhere you go. People feel like they're, you know, again with that Six of Cups, like time slowed. And don't think I'm hyping you up, guys. I'm really not doing that. It's just what's coming through. It's just what I feel. Okay, let's do one more. Guaranteed success. So you're a star. Didn't I just say that? You're a star? I may have said movie star, but star period. Like, listen, like you're shining bright. You shine bright. You shine bright. You shine bright like a diamond everywhere you go. And I want to say something to those who feel like maybe they've been contemplating whether to change. I really wouldn't do that. I don't feel like this group is meant to fit in. Not that anybody is, but with this one, the message is coming through even stronger. Don't try to fit in. Don't try to like damper yourself a bit, you know, or like maybe conform yourself to like what people like more out there. I don't do that. I don't do that at all, especially on my YouTube channel, you know. I feel like with my readings, you have to be ready to hear them. I'm not going to like read like other people, you know, that I've seen in the past read. I mean, I don't watch tarot readings, but I'm going to be who I am. And if, you know, that means that, you know, it's going to be a slower ride to the top, that's cool. That's really cool. So I feel like the right people is what I'm trying to say will find you. And maybe that's also coming through as well too, because you know that you're cool with it. Like you're cool with who you are. And that's what gives you that confidence, you know, that, you know, the right people will find you. You're not really here for like the maximum. You're here for like, you know, the quality, not the maximum. You're not here for the quantity. You're here for the quality. And I think people understand that too when they meet you, that you're just not desperate. You're not desperate. Let's get two from here. Let's get 2 cards for group 3. What do they need to be aware of how they are perceived publicly? How is group 3 perceived publicly? Vacation. You will be traveling soon. So again, I feel like here you give off this impression that you're always making moves. You're always doing something. You actually look like a busy person. You look like someone who's not sitting around. Okay. You look like a lot of things. These are preconceived notions. You could be the world's biggest introvert, but people would not say that about you publicly. They would think that you were always being invited somewhere, always having something to do, lots of friends, always, you know, maybe you have like a bag packed, and maybe some of you that resonates. Maybe your bag is always packed. You always have some friend's house to go to. But I feel like here there's, you know, it triggers them. Maybe, you know, this is also that busy energy. Like maybe you have, people would assume you have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend, you've got lots of friends, you're busy, you're always out and about, you're on social media, you're doing things. And your public image can also be your social media. So listen, this could be people who are like viewing your social media, right? They don't know you. I don't believe social media is an accurate representation always of who you are. But I feel like here you're always on the move. You're always doing something. This is what they assume. Busy, 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 busy. Okay. Let's get another card. Water sign. Okay. That doesn't mean that you are a water sign. It could be, obviously, you know, the card should be taken, as is, but I'm going to give you the energy as well as after this, okay? So you could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces watching, but you could also give off water sign energy, which is, a little bit, misread. I feel like this is also talking about you being misread, just like what I said before. You could have all of these thoughts. People could have all these thoughts, which kind of would resemble a fire sign, right? Out and about, loyal to no one, kind of, in a way. Not that, fire signs aren't, but like just, on the move, they're about themselves, but it's like you could be, again, actually very introverted with the water sign card, or you could be, with the water. There's something about the water here that I feel like could be misrepresented, because I actually feel like water signs in general are misunderstood. So that also could be, if you're not a water sign, that you are misinterpreted a lot. But I feel like here with the water, I feel like this is reminding me of like emotions. And I feel like for this pile, I wouldn't be surprised if, this has played a big role in your life as far as like being misrepresented, or maybe like just not getting things that you want because of your public image, or being like labeled, misjudged, all of that stuff. It's played and weighed a lot on your life. It feels like with the water, this is also emotions. So I said if I chose this, card where it comes out with the signs, that I would choose another one. So you guys get another one for your public image, because it's not technically really one. We want really, cards that are going to come through that are, giving us these people's thoughts, how you're perceived. More patience. It's just a few more months. Good things come to those who wait. So I feel like people do recognize that you do have patience. There is something I feel like here about, just like spirited energy publicly, even though I did catch all those things about you, like, what I said before when I read this card. I do feel like here there is a softness. There is a softness to you. And I do feel like you're not mean, so you can be self-obsessed, but you can be a raging bitch, okay? I think you're very kind. That's why that Six of Cups came through. I think people enjoy their interactions with you, but again, you still trigger them. And not only that, you could be a lot to take in. And that's why maybe sometimes people, don't necessarily approach. It actually has nothing to do with you. It's them. And they're afraid of rejection. But I feel like here with the patience card, I feel like that also points to your genuine spirit. People do feel it. You are kind. You say please. You say thank you. You're not mean. Your interactions with people are not like off-putting, again, vulgar or anything like that. I just feel like, again, we could be pulling the people who are not exactly for you. Okay. If we are talking about something negative, it would be probably the people who are not for you, right? Because if there were the right people, they would be gravitated. They would be able to see and feel who you really are. Okay, so let's get into the private you. Who are you really? Who are you really, pile 3? Okay, so we're going to get 3 cards from this deck. We're going to channel everybody again who's watching in group 3. Let's find out who you really are. We just read the public you. Now let's look at the real you. Okay, so we have the real you. We have insincere. So don't click off. Let me explain the card. I love the fact that we have here this mask. Okay, with 2 shades. I feel like this is very representative of you protecting yourself. It's like a shield on his face. And I do feel like to some degree, those who are watching, whatever they are really, they show something different sometimes publicly, and it could be for protection. It could be for so many different reasons. Maybe you just don't trust people, or you get an idea, or you get a feeling about them, and you're like, you know what? Not for me. I'm not going to really show them the real me. So this could be, again, self-protection. I wouldn't be surprised. Do we not all wear, a mask to some degree? I mean, there's some people I just don't like, for example, in my area, they can't even get me to say hello to them, okay? If I'm passing by. But those who know me and who love me would be shocked if that's what they found out I was like, okay? So I do feel like this is just very representative. It's not to say that you're insincere at all. This is just very representative to the reading, to let you know that we are definitely looking at two sides of you. And I feel like your private self it's for selected. It's for the selected, few, okay? But I feel like here, I am hearing self-protection. And it could be, years of this. This is why maybe you choose to do this, okay? In what way that will be, I don't know how that will look. I mean, I could draw a card. Let's get one card on maybe the reasons or whatever you want group 3 to know, even though they should know, but bring it so that there's validation as to what this is about, the self-protection. Okay, I think you've learned to be this way, okay? Now it's interesting, we have this water sign woman on the bottom. You could be you, but didn't we get water sign? But listen, you don't have to be a water sign to emit water sign energy. Okay. Water sign energy could be just passive, very sussing you out, careful about how they approach. They're not an open book. Okay. But I think with the Page of Swords, you've learned to be this way. There could be some people who have had I'm hearing like, the childhood or even the teenager years were horrific. And this is what you've learned maybe to do. Okay. It doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. It's just, I feel like with this Page of Swords, it is the card of the young apprentice. So I feel like you've learned to do this, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so let's get another card for you guys. The real you. And it's funny too, because he's holding two different phones in his hand on this card. So that tells me some people get one of you, some people get a particular side of you, while others that you talk to maybe get a different side of you. So it's kind of cool, these cards. More. The real them. You don't need them. Okay, so the real you, you don't need them. Kind of interesting that heart is sitting in a glass of water again, right? We've got the same energy of water coming through. It's coming through and leaking through, no pun intended, throughout the whole reading. So I feel like here again, the real you, you've learned how to navigate yourself accordingly. I feel like crowd to crowd. I feel like your family may know a different side of you. Your friends may know a different side of you. Your coworkers will know, like everybody knows a different side of you. But I feel like here it's for protection. A lot of the times, your heart, the heart is in the cup. I feel like sitting in this water. It's self-protection. I do feel like, but with the you don't need them, I feel like privately, give me more on this. You don't need them. I haven't done this for any other group, but your cards are calling for me as a reader to do more. Okay. So let's get more on the you don't need them. Okay. So you have the Empress here. So look what's on the bottom with the Seven of Wands. This is self-protection. This is, defending yourself. I feel like with the Empress, I feel like here, this is talking about those that you just don't put high, on the scale as far as, your life. I feel like here, this is also something you've learned to do with the people that you don't technically need because you just don't trust them. I'm not saying that you're using anybody, but I feel like these are the people that you could easily discard of. They get a different side of you. Now with the Empress, I feel like as well too, for more information on this card is that, just give me a moment. I need to look at her for a second. I think the private you gives 0 Fs about what anybody thinks. I think this reading was for entertainment purposes only. I don't really feel like you cared about this reading. I think it was just, again, entertainment. I think you sit on a throne. You are very powerful. She actually really does remind me of the other card, the main, thumbnail that you had to represent this reading. I feel like here you're very powerful on the inside. You don't really care. I think you don't need anyone. And I think that's why you're so true to yourself. I think that's why you love yourself. I think that's why you're so obsessed with yourself. It's all about how you feel for yourself. I don't know that you're exactly looking outwards, privately. This is how you feel. And this is what people also probably pick up on. The fact that you're just in your divine feminine power. You're the Empress, my goodness, okay? And you don't need anyone. This could also be triggering them. There's a confidence here. Maybe even you found your power. They can feel that you found your power. Yeah, you're pretty powerful. The real you is quite powerful. I think I'm feeling like people are trying to behave a particular way towards you to try to bring that down. They will not succeed though. If you've dealt with a lot of mean people or people who have rejected you and stuff, it's like, ha, whatever, I see you, okay? You're trying to reject me, but you're really rejecting yourself. You can't reject me because I don't reject myself. More. Unwilling to share, yeah. I think here, listen, you're good. You're good with who you are. I think if the right people do come around, I think you are willing to share, but unwilling to share could be also aspects of you. Who you really are. Listen, you're good. Look at her. She's just there eating her own cupcakes. She's cool. She doesn't even care about this reading, She's just like, I'm good with myself. I don't even need to share who I am, You can stay wondering about me. You can stay keeping it, thinking I'm a mystery or, doing whatever you're doing because you don't understand me. But I will say, just to be very fair, with the unwilling to share, I feel like you also, just to be very fair, now don't click off or get mad at me, okay? I feel like you also are in self-protection. So you also, to some degree, are not exuding exactly who you are to others. I also feel like for you, you also don't trust people, okay? Some of you don't. And that's why you're also unwilling to share who you really are. Maybe it takes time. It could be for so many reasons, but that's also something I'm seeing here. Okay, let's get more. Wow. Every time I think I just did like a amazing reading for one pile, another one comes along and just blows my mind. So wow, pile 3. I'm going to really want anybody who chose this group to let me know how this is feeling for you. Let's get 3 cards for you. The real you. What does Spirit want you to know? Who are you really? Okay, so we got Tree. Affairs with your family. For some of you, I feel like the only people who really know you are your family. But then for others of you, I feel like this has been caused by your family. The family is very predominant in this reading. And if you want to know how you can participate in the reading and make this for you, you got to think to yourself how that makes sense to you. What was the first thing you thought about? Was it that my family really screwed me up as far as who I am as a person? Or is it that only my family? Yeah, when it comes to that deep bond or people who know me or get me, it's only my family. Families is very predominant within this, image thing. But they could be very responsible for maybe the first bullies when it comes to who you were. Maybe they screwed something up as well too, or, to like you not being afraid to show your real self. I don't know. It will have to be how you feel that resonates with you. But family is a big deal here when it comes to image. And for a lot of you, I am hearing that, I don't know if that's just for a few people. When it comes to the identity, some of you may actually, maybe there's a loss of that. I don't know if it's through adoption or like, I don't know. Like I didn't have a good foundation there. So that's also kind of like, I don't want to use the word screwed up, but has like messed with my identity, you know? There's like something there of a block because it started with that. Whew, okay, more. Yoke, feeling tied down and or frustrated. Okay, so the real you, I feel like, is not as confident sometimes. And listen, that's not an insult, you know. We all wear a mask, okay? We all want to, you know, present ourselves in the best life. But I feel like on the inside, the real you, people would be shocked to know that you actually feel, you know, frustrated in your life, maybe trapped to some degree, tied down. This does feel to me emotional. I feel like there's emotions. I would say with that other card, the main card that I had, you know, on the thumbnail, I did not feel like, you know, she accurately depicts somebody who could be going through a lot. She looks actually pretty confident. And maybe that's how you kind of put yourself out there. It's like you're completely sure of yourself, but nothing could be farther from the truth. You're human. You bleed red just like everybody else. You have things that bother you. But maybe you're not as vocal about it, or, you know, I don't really sense with this pile that you're going to anybody's couch and sitting down and crying the blues. But you could be a tornado inside and people wouldn't know because, again, maybe you just look that put together, you know? People always tend to think like if they see somebody with greasy hair or no makeup on or bags under the eye that they're doing bad. I think there's a bit of a conflicting image here where people would be shocked because maybe you don't look like that, okay? More. Rabbit, okay, wow. Too much concerned with sexual matters. The real you, I think there's a big situation here for some of you with people approaching. I think here you come across as a particular, I don't know what, it will be different for every one of you. And that gets in the way sometimes in these matters, sexual matters. Like, you know, maybe somebody approaching, nobody approaches me. People act like I don't exist, or maybe, I don't know, nobody ever takes the initiative with me. That feels to me like there's been something, I feel like, with your public image and who you really are. There's been some issues around like lovers. You should know what I'm talking about, okay? You should know what I'm talking about with this. I feel like how you really are, there's a lot of concern too around this. You know, it's like you feel like it works against you sometimes. Maybe they think you are a person who's had many lovers, or you have a bunch of lovers, or you just like probably have a million people courting after you, but it's like furthest from the truth, you know? But there is something, there's an energy around that. Okay, let's get 2 cards from this deck on who group 3 really is. Who are they really? Someone else. Someone else. Sorry, someone is in the middle. Someone is trying to sabotage this. I feel like here, you know, who you really are. There is feelings of just like these blocks, distractions. I feel like you feel privately, you know, in your private time, like there's just always something coming in between what you want or have, or someone else. There's always something. This feels to me like when there's a wedge or there's something always trying to come in between what you want. And I feel like, this is a concern of yours, you know. It's been a common theme in your life. That there's just always this wedge. Why is this always happening to me? You know, why is always someone else always coming in between what I want or who I want? Give me more on this card. I feel like people are always trying to sabotage you. Always. Like, it's like that, is it, I wish I could think of that word. I just feel like this is like that pretty girl syndrome, maybe even, or just like you're just great. And it's just like, you feel like sometimes this image of yours or how you are perceived publicly, it just, something's always trying to sabotage you. It's like it doesn't work. You don't feel like it works for you sometimes, you know? Give me more. Yeah, this is about getting ahead. This is about getting ahead. So you will see with the Three of Wands, this is the progress card, and I feel like this is delays with the Five of Cups, or sadness, or regret, or something about around getting ahead. You feel like just, I don't know. And maybe that's why you're with the Page of Swords, trying your best to kind of mask aspects of you. I understand this. I really do. I really do. I've done that before in my life. You know, there was a time in my life where I did think like if I was to behave somewhere else, some other way, it would maybe more help me. But listen, I feel like at the end of the day, what's for you will find you. If you can jump more on board with that mentality, which I think some of you are doing. You're probably, this could even be about your past. Who knows, right? With these readings, you know, I don't believe in timelines. Time is happening all at the same time. Okay. And everybody who's catching this reading will be catching it or maybe resonating with it at a different time in their life. But this is about getting ahead. I feel like your public personality, it's always caused a wedge, or your image. Someone's always trying to sabotage you, wanting to be mean to you. I don't know. Like hating on you for no reason. Give me more. One more. Gambling, problems with addiction or gambling, bad finances. Okay, the private you. I think for some of you, now if it doesn't resonate, just again, take what resonates, leave the rest. I think for a lot of you, this has been an issue, you know, for you in your life. I think there could be people definitely who are finding this reading who are a lot more, you know, okay with, you know, but maybe there was one time in your life where, you know, this was a big situation. It was almost like an addiction, you know. Some of you, I do feel like privately have went through addictions. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you have. You know, we are talking about public image. I wouldn't be surprised if there's been some body disorders or something like that. I feel like the real you is really trying to, I feel like, get through or try to master what you've been given, really. Okay. I'm not really reading the gambling part too much. I really am reading the part about the problems with addiction. I really do feel like your image has been something that you've, you know, predominantly dealt with, you know, in your life. It's something that has, you know, maybe sometimes gone for you, but also gone against you. And I think you are currently sorting out how to get to the most authentic you without not worrying about, you know, other people, what they think of you, how they react to you. I do feel like a lot of you, if this is still, if you figured this out, it still happens to you here and there. But I do feel like you are starting to become more okay with it, like more, you know, like this card, you don't need them, you know, whatever is meant for you will be. And you're starting to move more into that. Wow, this one was heavy. This group was very heavy. I felt like I wanted to give this pile a big hug, you know, so I'm giving you like an internet, you know, hug through the screen, because I do feel like here it's been rough. It's been rough for a lot of you. Okay, well, I'm going to end it here. I really wish you all the best, Group 3. Let me know what you thought about this reading, and take care. Okay, so if you were attracted to image 4, before we get into your reading, a couple things to note. Please go and check the comment section right now. I have a comment there. It's been pinned by me, where you can find all the links to, all of my platforms. If you'd like to book a private reading, my Etsy shop link will be there, as well as if you want to see more readings from me, my Patreon link will be there, as well as my link to my second channel. A lot of you don't know that I still have, I have a second channel. You may want to check that out. It could be very interesting, the topics that I speak about over there. But please also make sure that if you are liking my content and you like the way I read, that you are subscribing, hitting all notifications as well, because I don't want you missing out on reading from me or when I go live. And that goes for pre-existing subscribers as well. Timestamps will also be in the description box. I do get a lot of comments on people who don't know where my timestamps are. Before chapters came along, they were always in the description box, so they will be there for you. I'm not gonna lie, pile 4, I was extremely excited to get to this reading. I'm very pulled in by this girl, okay? If you were attracted to this image, this is gonna be what, you represent publicly, how people perceive you publicly. I did not include the wording on the bottom because I didn't want anybody to be swayed or pulled in by that. I just wanted you to focus on the image. But these, images are from my cards. And listen, it's amazing what pictures can say and what they can do and how they can make you feel. I just feel so warm, like so gravitated towards this girl. I feel like for you, people are very gravitated towards you, okay? Your public image, how they perceive you is just very warm, very inviting. You're interesting. You pique curiosity. I feel like others are curious about you. You've got this way, I feel like, that I don't know if it's necessarily how you feel about yourself or if it's just the space that you're in, okay? But it's like, I just feel like I want to come towards you. I feel like you know the secret. You have the answers to something. I wouldn't be surprised if you pick up a lot of people who start like randomly telling you their life story, or listen, I wouldn't be surprised if you get a lot of energy vampires either, okay? This card, the wording does say leveling up. I feel like here we've got a lot of light workers, but we've got a lot of people who definitely know who they are, who also, though, give the impression, because some of you may, it may not even be that you feel like you've got it together, but you do give the impression that you've got it together, like you are just in a good space. And it feels genuine. There's a genuineness. I don't feel like I'm like retracted by you, like with pile 3 was. I do feel like I want to come towards, and you emit like warmth. Like I feel warm. A lot of you, she's not smiling on this card, okay? But I feel like I am seeing the smile. I am seeing a smile, okay? I'm seeing like a pleasantness about you. You just make me feel like, I don't know, it's like my next best friend, or I feel like this person could be a friend. I feel like you would understand me. You do give off the the impression that like, if anybody could understand me, it would be you, okay? So don't be surprised if there are a lot of people who want to befriend you, okay? I feel like I don't blame them. I really don't blame them with this card, okay? Let's now get some more, okay, on your public, how you're being perceived publicly. We're gonna get 2 more cards from this deck. I feel like a lot of you could look very unique as well too. She's got braids in her hair. I don't know. She looks different, right? Even the sunglasses are saying a lot. The sunset is in her eyes. I don't know. There's something also very like, I don't know if a lot of you have like an eccentric look or a boho chic. She's giving me that though. Something that would match up with like how she feels about herself, but even like spiritually, I don't know if you tend to like rock crystals. You could wear or be, even like your thought process of how you feel, you could wear it openly, and that could also pull people in. like maybe quotes or like tattoos, or what is this? This is actually stuff that's coming through with remote viewing. It's not necessarily through the card, but I feel like here you are a walking expression, and how you feel about your life or what you've attained, your happiness, you could wear it. So that's interesting. People are viewing that, you know, public image is public image. It's how you look. That's also a factor. It's also how you feel, right? But let's get more. Let's get more for group 4. How are they perceived publicly? Belligerence. Okay, so interesting. I feel like people have this, even though, you know, what I've said, I feel like there's also this sneaking suspicion, like, what is the other side of you? There is a quietness that you may have. You may love yourself. You may be fully like, you know, you may make others feel good. But I feel like people also wonder what's underneath. It's almost like a volcano, I'm feeling like who is this person? What would they be like? I feel like you're not exactly belligerent. I feel like people wonder if you have this side to you. Has anybody ever said to you, like, do you ever just scream or get loud or get excited or, you know, yell, or are you always this calm? Funny with this, right? I know a lot of you probably thought I was going to say, well, listen, they don't like this side of you. But listen, I do have to actually read it for everybody. But mainly I'm wondering, or I'm feeling like I'm wondering, do you have this side? Do you ever get mad? Are you always this calm and chill? Are you always this cool? Like, do you ever get peed off? P-I-S-S-E-D off? But then another side of you, listen, I have to be fair with this reading. Another side of you, another group of you, sorry, could be you have this. Maybe you have no holds bar with the way that you speak. Maybe you say it like it is. Maybe you are rough around the edges. Maybe some people are just like, what did she just say? Like, like really caught off guard. Maybe it's like this thing you insert words, or you could come out of nowhere with this. It's not necessarily that you're angry. I just feel like you could be sometimes a little bit reckless with your speech. It's like two groups for me. I don't know which one you'll fall into. Others of you, I feel like, are so chill. It's like, how is it possible that you're this chill? Don't you have this other side of you? Don't you ever get angry? But then others of you, I feel like you're a little bit belligerent. Like, you say things that are a little off the wall, you know? Listen, I'm going to take that card. They told me to. It flew out with a lot of energy. I'm getting imposter here as well, too. I think a lot of people are skeptical. You know, they may be, you know, very drawn to you, but I think a lot of people wonder what's below the surface. What is below the surface with you? Like, who are you really? You're this calm, you're this chill, you're this happy. You're always like optimistic. Like, is there another side? Like, there has to be another side. Like, who are you? I feel like there is a bit of a disconnect with what you show publicly that I feel like people don't necessarily sometimes trust, okay? And if it is that, you know, you are leveling up and you have a lot of thanks to God or the universe or your spiritual path, some people may not believe that. They may be like nodding their heads, but there's a lot of skepticism, I feel like. And listen, I wouldn't be surprised if we got some people here who, you know, maybe are tarot readers or on a spiritual path and understand everything I'm saying, and, you know, really, you know, understand that, because maybe people have questioned them, you know, like, you really believe in that hocus pocus? You really believe in that BS? Like, come on, you know, it could be like that, but this could also be for other things as well, too, not just your spiritual path or how in tune you are with yourself. It's like, when are we going to see the other side of this person? You know, maybe you are very neutral. You are very the same to everybody. Maybe you're very calm. Maybe you're always like, I don't really feel like a fluctuation, like a hot and cold person, but I feel like a lot of people wonder, like, if there's more to you. And then for some of you, this belligerent way about you, it's like you could come across sometimes as a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm not going to lie with the imposter card. It's like sometimes you're like these beautiful palm trees waving in the wind, all cool and chill. And then Other days you're like, I don't know, like, what did you just say to me? Like, that was evil, you know? Or it's like you kind of could, like, you know, spit some truth, or I don't know. It's like we see this other side of you that peeks out and we're like, what? But I really do feel like it's the things that you say. You may even make people think a lot about themselves, or maybe you give them a dose of reality. You know, it could be all of that. But I think regardless of this, I think you're super cool. I think people are just really gravitated. I think they'll take all of this just to be around you because you're that cool. Okay, let's get more. Let's get more from this deck. Oh, actually, no, we're supposed to get one from this deck. So let's get a card from this deck. Let's get more. I feel like this is not straight. Not straight. Let's get more for group 4. How are they perceived publicly? How are they perceived publicly? Okay, I think this has a lot to do with how people do perceive you. I don't think this is about you. I think people are a little conflicted. It's a bit like scratch my head. It's a bit scratch my head. And it's more like, do you find with this group that people are very nosy with you? Like just constantly asking questions. It's like you're there, but they want more. They want more of you. I feel like people even fight over you. But I feel like this is nosy energy. Like just trying to be up in your business, asking you questions about who you really are because they can't wait, or they're just, I don't know. Maybe you are even a place where you're like, I'm going to show you what I want to show you. Whatever is me on the inside or personally, that's my business. But they're like, no, 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 no. You're going to tell me. We're going to find out more. I want more. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised with the Queen of Pentacles. I really wouldn't be surprised. Queen of Pentacles is quite reserved, but she's really confident in who she is. She's secure, okay? But this could totally be earth energy. I wouldn't be surprised if you got them some earth energies watching. And listen, it doesn't have to be that it's your sun sign. It could be somewhere in your, you know, chart. But it could also just represent energy. So you don't have to even be an earth sign, but you exude that, you know, that quiet confidence, one that doesn't really maybe say too much, but like, don't underestimate a Queen of Pentacles. She can come out of nowhere and give you a dose of her, you know, thoughts of you. Okay. And it will hit you. It will hit you. It will make you think. But with that star, I feel like here, you've got like a magic around you. It's even maybe like a Houdini. I don't know why I'm saying that. Do you tend to kind of like act like a Houdini? Like, again, I'm trying to figure you out. I'm really trying to figure you out. And I feel like people break their back trying to figure out who you are. And it could look like nosiness. Like, I really wouldn't be surprised if people here with this pile have a lot of nosy people around asking questions. But you show what you want to show, you know? You're cool with that. And this is your public image. So remember, we're not talking about the real you, the private you, who you are really. We're talking about public, and public is to everybody, you know, regardless if you like these people or you don't, or you just mean strangers. Let's get more. This pile is so interesting to me. Give me more. How is pile 4 perceived publicly? Lobster, financial pinch. Okay, I'm not going to lie. For some of you, don't click off if it's made sense so far and this doesn't resonate. But for some of you, some people could view you as you are in a financial pinch. I don't know if that's the way that you look. It could be that you don't spend much money on material things. People are judging you like a book, you know, by its cover. Maybe you're not wearing the most expensive things. She does look very minimalistic on the card, especially compared to, like, let's say group 3. She is like all about the basics, you know, and listen, if you're a Queen of Pentacles and you're being represented one, regardless of what your sign is, you are very frugal. You're not going to be, you know, wearing, expensive things on the outside, okay? You could give off the impression, though, that you are in a financial pinch, but to me, it's a Houdini act. I think you're quite good. I just think that you're not really about being like a walking target, okay? But some people could perceive you as somebody who doesn't maybe have much money. Maybe because you don't flaunt it. Maybe you're just not, maybe you're, very careful with your money. It could be all of that. More. Okay, so we got Kat, a two-faced friend. So there you go. Did I not say here, I feel like people kind of are conflicted with you? It's like they're dealing with an imposter. They don't know who they are. Now, don't take that to the nines. I'm not saying that you're a bad person, but I feel like here people cannot figure you out. They just can't. I think I'm hearing like, how can it be love and light every day? I don't know what that's about. I don't know if you're kind of super positive or you really believe in your faith, whatever it is. But I feel like people cannot figure you out. You just like, I think they also want to know about this other side. What is this other side of you, What is it? I want to know. But it could be also, let's just be fair, if you do resonate with that person who tends to kind of like, could be very pleasant and smiley, but then you say something or you catch people off guard, they could view you as a two-faced friend because maybe you're just very honest, but it's like, who asked you? Maybe you tend to speak outside your mouth sometimes, you like to give people a little dose of reality or whatever, but these people publicly, I feel like don't trust you. There is something I feel like even with strangers that they don't necessarily trust, even though that they feel comfortable. But some people feel comfortable, some people not so much, okay? And it could be, again, your mannerisms, your body language, the way that you are, your energy is giving off. But I do feel like with this group, we're getting a lot of the people who know you, just a little bit, more so than strangers, okay? And I feel like some people just feel like they can't trust you because you perceive yourself one way or you act yourself like one way. And then out of nowhere, you can just say something or do something that's a little bit like, I don't know who you are. And I wouldn't put that past even if you tend to be a person who just, has people or know people and maybe you don't show up to things. I don't know. Maybe you say you're coming and you don't show up. Or maybe you're like, the queen of make it and break it. You cancel plans last minute. You go off, you do your own thing. It could be even stuff like that. Don't put that past it. More. We've got clouds. So yeah, I think people don't really see you. I think they want to see you. Maybe you enjoy this. I don't know. Maybe you are about this, Queen of Pentacles is not going to give you much, she's going to give you exactly what she wants to give you. She's not exactly about like these deep penetrating bonds with the people she really loves. Yes, but she's not really out there for the quantity of it all. She's very focused on her own life, her own goals. I don't think this group that I'm watching really cares too much about people or what they think. But we've got clouds with temporary problems. So people also view you. And again, I'm getting the people who know you a bit, not necessarily, strangers. Some piles, it was a lot of strangers, how they were viewing. And then others, it was like people who know you a bit. But I feel like here, people know you as a person who goes through temporary problems. And that could be that, the sun is coming out. How do you get over everything so quickly? How do you find your footing? How do you bounce back? You may even have some success stories or stories, period, that people know of about you. And it's quite interesting to see how you've kind of, overcome them. But I feel like here, publicly, you never get down. You're never down for long. You're just always, going up. It's quite fascinating to watch. But I do feel like when it comes to your public image, you do send a lot of people into a frenzy about it. Like, why? Look, it's ridiculous. I feel like this is a bit ridiculous with this pile. Like, I feel like people want to get to know you, but it's just too pushy. It's too pushy for me. I don't think you're about that. I feel like with this girl on the image, I don't care if you're a guy watching, just tailor it to you. You are about like your own life. Like you're about leveling up. It's about you. It's about your own lane. It's about focusing on your goals. It's about, you know, making these sunrises, you know, like happen for you in your life. I don't feel like you're too focused on anybody else, you know? With the Queen of Pentacles, circle is going to be real small. Let's find out how people are viewing you publicly. How are you publicly viewed? 2 cards from this pile. Love spell. You've been bewitched. Yeah, people are bewitched by you. People are bewitched. They just don't know what to make of this. I think people are very attracted to you. Feel instantly like something's been put over them. But I just feel like as far as figuring out what has happened or what has taken place here or who you are, that's going to remain, you know, a mystery. They will remain bewitched. They will never figure it out. And I am also hearing too, like publicly people view you as like not really knowing or being able to accurately predict your next move. So are you a bit of a Houdini? I'm wondering. Let's get more. How is this group viewed publicly? Air sign. Okay. So listen, you could be very flighty. But you could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius as well too. I wouldn't be surprised because listen, these qualities that I have, you know, mentioned also apply to air signs as well too. But you could also be carrying the energy of air, which is, you know, we got that here with the clouds, but very drifty, very like, you know, when the wind flows, you know, you go there. And when the wind flows goes that way, you go that way. You know, you cannot be caught. I feel like publicly people cannot figure you out or catch you. And isn't that also the air signs as well too? I'm not surprised by that. Now, I did say that if I did pull one of these cards, which, you know, it's the zodiacs, I would pull another one. So I'm going to give you another one on how people view you publicly, how you're perceived. Let's see what else. Guardian. A lost loved one watches over you. Okay, so that could be protection as well. But I feel like this is also the faith in the unknown, okay? With that card of the leveling up, like there's something about faith here. And when we're talking about publicly, I feel like you do wear it. So I think if people are noticing this about you, it must be something like that you're wearing. I don't know if it's a cross. I don't know if it's jewelry, crystals, quotes on t-shirts, tattoos, but I do feel like you also are protected. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of you actually have the name of somebody who has crossed over on your body. That could also be how you're viewed. But I feel like here, I think this is protection. And you got it. You've got it. It's always, something's always working out for you. It's always working out. You're always, I feel like, coming out on top. And listen, I am going to say for some of you, this could be a private message. Okay. Like for some of you, you need to know that you are being watched over by a loved one. Now, if you want to know who that is, think of the first person that came to your head. Now, if you think of somebody and you're like, well, why them and not the other person? Go with it. It's that person. I promise you. Okay, let's find out how you are really. What are you like really? Such a fun pick a card. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is pull from this deck. Sorry, I have a thing with things being straight. Okay, let's find out what you're like really. What is group 4 like really? What are they really like deep down inside? The private image, their private image. Let's move this card. We're done with this. That's how we are publicly viewed. Deep-seated discrimination. Okay. How you are really. Let me just take a moment to look at this card. Okay, don't click off. Some of you though, like, listen, when you shoot to kill, you shoot to kill. I think with this belligerent side of you, this could be applying for some of you. This could be really, like who you are, okay? I'm not saying that you are, discriminating against, people's skin color or, their viewpoints, but I just feel like here, for some of you, you may have, like, your mouth has no boundaries, okay? It actually, there's a stop sign, a word on the girl's mouth. Like, it just could be that this is who you are, okay? You're brutal. You could be brutal with your words. But for others of you, this whole way about you could have come from this. People may not know your story. I really don't think that people know your story. A lot of you, the leveling up has come from the discrimination that you've faced in your life, okay? Maybe you keep people at bay also for these reasons. You're gonna fall into two groups here. I don't know which one you will be, but a lot of people are not really aware of why you are the way you are, okay? There's a past on some of you, okay? And this is very tied into who you really are, okay? Listen, if it's just the truth, it could be also that as well too. When you are speaking truth, people, even though your truth may be right, somebody may be taking it as discrimination. You just don't know. I just don't know who I'm speaking to here. More. Who is group 4 really? Yeah. You've done a lot of intense shadow work, hence the leveling up. People are not aware of like what's really happened, what you've done, what you've went through. I feel like you've went through so much that if people found out, they would have their like jaws, like their mouths would be hanging open. And if this is a protection thing that people just can't figure out who you are, but you're protecting yourself, I get it. Some of you have probably went through some real darkness, okay? People also, I feel like don't, the private you, who you are really, they're not aware of like, even like what you get, like the reason that you are the way you are. It's like, cause you've went through this intense shadow work. They have no idea what it's like to go through this. And maybe you also are not seen accurately because they don't know why you are the way you are, what's made you this way. Everybody, if we could all just take a peek, right? And a window into everybody's life, we could see why they are the way they are. They do that on the other side, They show you kind of why somebody treated you a certain way, why they were the way they were. This is kind of the same thing I'm being shown here. So with you, there's a lot of intense shadow work. You even go through it to this day. If people don't know where the heck you are, or you've disappeared, or you just feel like you just can't be around people anymore, or you just can't go to that party, it's because you're doing that. They don't know what you're up to. And even if you explained it, they wouldn't get it. So it's not even like you're, I'm going to sit here and say, explain it to them, So, wow. Okay, give me more. Truth lives. Are you kidding me? Truth lives. You are all about the truth, and you are going to be in your truth, whether who likes it, who doesn't like it, who loves it, who hates it. It doesn't matter. And that's the reason why you got the card of leveling up, because you've chosen to stand in your truth. Even if it's you speaking to somebody about their actions and they don't like it. With this card, it could even be symbolic too. Like if you're giving, telling people like, take your chains off. You can fix yourself. Stop being a victim. Sorry for the, energy with that, but I just felt it very strongly. I just really feel like this pile just gives 0 Fs, It's like, stop being a baby, own yourself, own it, fess up to it. You're not afraid. This is really who you are. I feel like with this pile, now that I'm kind of getting into it, I feel like your public image is actually, out of all 4 piles, the most authentic to who you really are. And that's why I was so gravitated towards her. I didn't know what the reading would hold, because it could have been very different. But that's why I was so drawn to her, because you, like, as we evolve, we try our best to take that mask off. We try our best to let people see the real us, you know? And then, you know, we start attracting in, you know, soul tribe, not the wrong people for us. But I feel like with this group, it's like a take it or leave it. This is who I am. And I feel like you're exuding outwardly exactly who you are. So kudos like to that. Because listen, it's the process, right? I mean, we've all been there. And that's probably what this intense shadow work did to you, you know? It helped you become and stand more in your truth. Wow. Okay, let's get a card from this deck. Let's talk to group 4. Who are they really? Who are they really? Give me more on that card. That's powerful. So listen, you're not afraid to walk away from the group. You're not afraid to go against the norms. You're not here to be a part of any group, okay? Bye-bye group. I'm not here to, you know, fit in. No, you know? And that's why I feel like here a lot of the times people are attracted to you, but I don't know, they can't get you the way that they want you to, because you're not here to be owned by anybody, okay? I do feel like when we are following, we are getting owned by a group. You're a leader. You are a leader. And how you are really, you're not afraid to go against the grain and walk and end all the belief systems, all the whatever, you know, whatever we've done here as a group on this earth plane, you know, this herd thinking, you know, herd thinking mentality. You are going and doing something different. That's who you are really. Wow. Like, really? Wow. Wow. I just can't keep, I keep saying it. I'm like, I don't want this reading to end. It's like very cool to read for this pile. Let's get more. Who is pile 4 really? Pay attention to your work. So we have desk. I feel like with this card, this is about, you know, when it says work, it's kind of funny because with the 3 of Pentacles, that's actually my, my work card, but like indirectly, you know, like, cause people always just jump to career. I'm like, no, this is about like your life plan here, you know, like the work you set out to do here. I feel like you're all about that. You are very attentive to your work. You are all about, you know, trying to fix, you know, things, unblock things. This is a pile that is really set out to achieve much, but spiritually, you know, inwardly with the intense shadow work. And I feel like who you are really, you really are who you are, whoever you're exuding outwardly as well too. And I feel like here, this pay attention can even be like how you feel about others. Like, are you paying attention? Are you seeing what's going on? Do you see who you are? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you who you are. You know, you may even be a reflection. You may be doing actually a lot of work on multitude layers, not just about your own life, but with others. And I feel like here, you're just very invested in your work, the work that you came down here to do with your life. And if it's about getting to the top of a company or going to university, that's all, if that's important to you, that all still applies. But for a lot of you, it will be your spiritual path. Okay, more. Bull, plenty of material things. That's who you really are. You are so abundant, you know? Do you see how the other version that I had when publicly, outwardly, I said that I think people read you wrong? They may even think that you're in a financial pinch, but you're actually not. And a lot of you, let's just be real. There could be some people who are watching who care nothing about money. And all you do is attract it because of that. Or This is about abundance and, things that, you have, like your health, your happiness, those are your material things, you're so happy. You're so filled up. That fruit basket is completely filled to the brim. You are genuinely happy, pile 4. So all these people who are trying to figure out a flaw or trying to get nosy about this and that or try to find out some deep, deep, dark past, it's like, just stop. Like, I'm happy. Yeah, it's really what it is. You don't need to, try to figure me out. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm really that way. I'm really who I am. And that probably irks a lot of people because, they probably come from a mentality of, well, everybody has flaws. Everybody has. Yeah, we all do. But it's how we choose to express them, It's how we choose to, allow it to, hold us back, I just think you're in a good space, pile 4. That probably pisses a lot of people off. Give me more. Yeah, leg, stepping into a new experience. So how you really are, you're not afraid to go into the unknown. You're not afraid to kind of go where other people like, close their eyes to, shut their eyes to. You're really all about moving forward and you're on the move. You are on the move energetically. I just don't feel like people can pin you down, track you, find out where you are, control you. You're just always in movement. And it's that moving forward for me that I love because, you're not really about the stagnance or, staying put. You just always are about going forward. And I do believe that for some of you, you probably try to share this from time to time with people, but people just don't know how to take it because they're just not ready for it. Maybe they're not ready for it. I feel like if people could take this wrong, they probably are not ready for it. That's just what it is because I feel like you speak the truth. So how you really are, oh my goodness, wow. Like, I'm just, I'm out of words. I'm really out of words. Let's get more. Let's get more. 2 cards from this deck. Talk to us about pile 4. How are they really? What are they really like? What are they really like on the private side of them? Moving. Oh, goodness. So you're always moving. Did I just say that? Change of residence, moving in with your partner. Those are the subheaders. But listen, it could be that with the change of residence, this could be symbolic, just moving, always on the go. People don't know where you're at. You're always doing something new. You're always choosing to experience something new. You don't want to stay put. You don't want to stay put for anybody, and you won't allow anybody to keep you put. So that could even be when people try to put you on a schedule or they meet you and they try to own you. You can sense it right away. I feel like with this pile, I wouldn't be surprised if you could sense a lot of people's traumas. I really wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be. And that's why they're attaching to you, is because you've got this thing, this je ne sais quoi. Like, I want to be like that, You're always doing something new. You're always on the move. Very cool. Okay, one more. Honeymoon phase, attending someone's wedding. So listen, I do feel like with this, the airplane is very symbolic for me, just always on the move. I feel like you are always just in this fresh energy. Honeymoon is a very, symbolic. It's a very fresh energy. It signifies the beginning of something. That first honeymoon that we have of this new beginning. I just feel like you're just always jet setting. And it doesn't have to be that you're actually getting on a plane. I just feel like you're hard to find. This is who you are. There's no actual reason why this is happening. So I wouldn't be surprised if also some of you feel like people take it upon themselves to think that you're moving in a particular way to get back at them, or maybe you're angry. You're always being asked, are you mad with me? Or do you not like me? Or it's not that. It's just your soul came here to expand, to grow. And that's going to be your first and foremost priority. Okay. The leg, always stepping into something new. You got moving and honeymoon. I mean, really, this is very symbolic of like fast-paced energy, looking forward, always going forward, never looking backwards, just always on the move, doing something different. You're not here to fit in group 4 at all. Wow. Okay, pile four. Let me know what you thought about that. I really was honored to read for you. I wish you all the best. Take care.